like a
You
balance,
say you mean
goes up and down.
I gotta bring all the energy? Is
I think
that what
so.
you're trying to say?
Yep.
I gotta bring all the
All
energy?
right, we are
Ready to be the
live,
vampire?
guys. Welcome back to the show, The Couch Show.
I don't see us live.
Yeah, 17 seconds now. There's a lag, remember?
I'm timing it. Let's see. Oh, there
All
it
right,
is.
if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel, Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn. That's Ray. He forgets
All right,
sometimes, you
audio
know.
check.
That's why he was missing
Audio
yesterday.
check. What do I sound? Audio check. 'Cause I'm using my headphones.
Today's episode brought to you by
If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel, Sibling Rivalry.
All right, so I'm gonna mute this. All right, go ahead, do the intro. Do the intro.
All right, guys. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel, Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray, and I'm messing with Lynn this whole episode because she has low energy.
I've got such low energy right now. I've got
So
some
she
tea.
can't bring the heat today.
I've got some water heating on the stove so I can make some tea. I'm making honey and ginger tea. I have a sore throat. I'm just
Do you just feel like you need a reset?
a reset. A reset.
Do you feel like you just need a reset?
I'm kind of afraid of a reset. I think I just need some hot tea.
Maybe, yeah,
That's all I need.
you know, a reset that kind of feels good. Almost, I don't want to say it, but almost like a great reset. Do you need a great reset in your life?
Oh Lord. So today's episode, we're gonna be diving into the Great Reset, which I actually I hadn't heard about it until like a few days ago when we were like, oh, that's gonna be like the topic for our next episode.
Yeah. Hey, Fuzz,
Hey,
welcome
Fuzz,
back.
welcome. Ola,
How's your
happy
week going?
Thursday.
Hopefully it's been going good.
Yeah, going into the weekend. I hope you've had a great week
Yep.
so far.
Yep. Hopefully you have great weekend
I'm gonna
plans.
check my hot
If
water.
not, start making them now. It's Thursday. It's early. Start making some weekend plans. Great reset. You'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But you might as well be happy now. Shit, you see it coming. We might as well be happy now. Be happy today. It's about today. So we're gonna
Honestly,
talk about that.
the one thing that can never be taken from us is our mind. And
Exactly. And they're trying to. Our spirit. They're trying to break our spirit. They've been trying to do that for the last 2 years. And you got to understand that all of this has been in play. It's been in play way before, you know, I was hearing stuff about this back in 2018, 2019. So let me know when you're ready so we can get into this. So we can start talking about
I'm
it.
I'm still waiting for my hot water. I mean, what do you mean? What are we waiting for? Just go ahead.
Just go in. All right. So
Go
yeah.
in.
So, you know, my buddy at work, we used to talk about, you know, everything. Right. We had so much time on our hands. We were talking about like aliens, conspiracies, you know, spirituality, everything. So one of the things that he brought to my attention was that that every year there was like a meeting of the minds, but it was for like everybody who's somebody in our society right now. Somebody who's like it was like a meeting of billionaires. And like you can look this up. Like you can go online right now and you could type like Bilderberg, and you'll see every year they have all the people who are attending. And it's like boom, 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 guy from Apple, guy from Google, guy, just like a whole list. And like, I mean, people want to say like, oh, it's shady, it's conspiracy theory and all this stuff. But think about it. Think about if you had so much money in your life that you could change the direction that the world's going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you tap into that? Like minds and try to control that shit?
Yeah.
Like that's the way I see it. And like it's happening, you know, and it's been happening before Kofifi. It happened during Kofifi. Like we saw it. You know, we saw the lies and the manipulation. I mean, it's been happening ever since 2016, at least as far as I could, you know, as far as I could see back. You know, when I was awakened to it and realized, you know, that I'm being pumped lies from, you know, the news and the media and all this. So it's happening, right? So what can we take from it? What can we do?
Yo,
What
it's
can we
so
do?
crazy. It's so crazy that like you can trace it back to like 2016. I like only like started caring, I should say, to even listen over like the last 3 years. So maybe like 2019, I would say.
Right.
Because it was before, the lockdown and everything. But I was hearing the whispers too, like, oh, everyone, the billionaires are getting together, and they have like these secret meetings and stuff. And it makes you wonder because if money is what's driving our society, our world, you're supposed to follow the money. You're supposed to see what the money is doing. So in that, you're looking at the people who have control of this money.
Correct.
They have a lot of pull.
Correct. And when I got into crypto in 2017, this is how my buddy at work kind of tied it all together. We were talking about XRP and how XRP was the banking token, right? It's the one that the banks are going to use, and they're going to use to transfer money faster, to replace SWIFT, which if you guys don't know anything about SWIFT has, it's been in the news lately because Russia was just kicked off of it. So SWIFT is like this archaic system. It's been around for decades, where it's a way to transfer money internationally. So if you try to transfer money from, let's say, here in the States to like Mexico, it's going to take about a week. And the reason why it takes a week is because it has to be verified and it goes through SWIFT to process. So XRP was supposed to replace that. And, a lot of banks are testing it. It's still in development and all of that. And so when we got into that, we started deep diving more into just the whole financial system. And then that's when we started finding out about like IMF, central banks, the World Economic Forum, and then realizing that all these people are coming together with the people who have money, who can make change, who can do things in this world. Now, are they doing it for nefarious reasons? I don't know. All I know is it's happening. There are people, the rich are aligning themselves with each other and are saying, this is how we're going to drive the world. I mean, look at who was a prominent figure throughout COVID. Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Like, why? Bill Gates is a computer nerd. Like, why is he over here talking about, medical issues? But it is what it is. And so once again, you could sit here and we could talk about this, and we'll keep talking about it because it's a great topic. I love talking about it. But at the end of the day, you got to walk away from here and say, how's this going to impact your life? Are you going to sit being scared and let, some change or some ominous change come and change your life? Or are you going to enjoy the time you have? Enjoy it now. And then when it actually does change, figure out how to enjoy it then. That's the way I look at it.
And that's the key. Because the future is uncertain. Like, nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring. Nobody. Like, even these elite people who think they have a plan, like, they don't know. So, like,
they don't know.
The key is,
you always got wild cards.
Switching that mindset to finding happiness where you are. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't matter what's going on around you if you can find, if you can center yourself and find that, like, hey, I'm alive. I have these blessings.
Good health.
You have things to hold on to, and that's what you hold on to. You're not always going to have everything you want. So what? What are you, 5? You can't always get what you want, Yeah. But you have to find a way to be grateful for what you do have.
Now, the only way I could foresee something where we actually stop or change what's about to happen is if the masses, us, the people, we come together and we revolt, right? Revolution, right? Changes history, right? It's not happening. It's not going to happen. The masses are stuck to their phones. The masses are stuck to being fed a narrative, and they like it. So what are you going to do? If you've been awoken to the truth, the reality, you see things in a different way, then why won't you use that for your advantage? Fun said, I'm going to enjoy the decline. Yeah, I mean, the rich is still getting rich. So why don't you get a piece of that? It's like if you're reading in between the lines, you're seeing everything that's happening, and you know that the rich are going to continue getting rich. Let's say we switch to a new money system, right? The dollar's being inflated. It was inflated. The most dollars that was printed within the last 2 years. Everybody was getting free money, and everybody thought, oh, free money, yay! But somebody got to pay that, right? Mm-hmm. So if the dollar's not backed by anything, we moved on with the gold standard years ago, right? It's not really backed by anything. it's printed. It just has value because we say it has value, right? Now we see something like Russia. Russia's declaring that they're going to move away from the US dollar. So Russia has a product that the world wants, oil. And they're saying, you want this oil, you're going to have to pay us in Russian rubles, not the US dollar, not euros. So now there's going to be a shift in the financial system, right? There could be two systems fighting for each other. And me personally, since I'm a little biased, what's going to be the middleman in that? The crypto. That's why I was like, yo, invest in crypto. There's money to be made, and there's enough for everybody. Look, everybody's going to eat if you know how to be smart about it.
Yeah, that's very true. There are like so many opportunities too, you know, and like we're seeing that shift with like everyone coming to like work from home positions. You know, that shift is coming where you're going to be in front of your computer. So why not be in front of your computer doing something you love?
Correct. Amen. And that's what I was, in a weird way, I did that, but I didn't know I was doing. Like I did it out of spite and out of animosity in the situation I was in. And don't get me wrong, my job was awesome, but it was the easy way, right? I had a job, I had a paycheck, but I still felt like there was something else. Because I knew, I was like, I'm not working for myself. I'm not doing the things I want to do. Like right now it's a beautiful day and I'm in the office. What am I doing, right? So I utilized, that drive to break the bonds, break the shackles that were on my feet. And be free, because I'll say it over and over again. Modern day slavery exists. It's called a 9-to-5. Like we go to work to get a means to survive. Like we are indentured servants to the system, and the system is consume, 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 consume. It's built that way. That's how these billionaires are billionaires.
You ask yourself, like, oh, what am I doing? But the thing is, people aren't asking that. That's the question we need to get people to ask, because, right. we were just, we were conditioned to believe that was normal. That's what everyone's doing. Right. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. Right. And look, no knock on our parents, because they didn't know any better. They grew up in it too. Right. What's the American dream? Oh, the white picket fence. You got to have a house. You got to have a car. You got to have kids. You got to consume, 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 consume. Right? There's a saying called keeping up with the Joneses. That's out there.
Yeah.
That's a product of consumption. It's like that for a reason. It's a reason why the iPhone right now only changes every year. And it's all aesthetics, right? It's all the color changes. Oh, this is the latest color. I need to get the latest color. No new features. It's just making you feel like you got the latest and greatest. But all that doesn't really have meaning. All that doesn't fulfill you. You think it does, but it doesn't. It's useless. It's nonsense. It's noise.
My great awakening was my the struggle after the fire in my home. My house burned down. Everything inside of it, I was useless. I couldn't use anything. I had to completely gut it. And I had no insurance. So I went through, having nothing and building again. And through that's where I realized that none of this has meaning. None of this stuff, I was just so grateful that my children and I weren't home. That's all that mattered. And that's all that mattered.
I think the camel that broke your back when it came to the 9-to-5 was the fact that you were spending so much in daycare and childcare. I think when you realize, man, I'm not home, I'm not with my kids, somebody else is raising my kids, I'm spending so much money, I'm earning this, and then 40% of it is going to childcare? Yeah, I think that was when you were like,
I was paying more a month in childcare than for my mortgage.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. So let me go to the comments, because Fuzz is on a roll. He loves the topic. Thank you, Fuzz. He said, think about the Rockefellers, Carnegie Foundation, and how they molded society. I do think about that, and I follow those names. And I follow those names because if you look into crypto, a lot of those names are investing in certain projects. So when I find the billionaires, I follow the money. So whatever the billionaires are investing in, whatever they're putting their money in, now granted, they have a lot more money to invest than I do.
Right.
But that's part of my research. I look at all the top names. I look at their venture, their venture capital firms, and I see which ones they're investing, because they'll put it out there. They'll put it out there saying, hey, they invest in, Polkadot, they invested this, they invested this. So there was a recent one that I saw. Mm-hmm. One of the big names were on it, and I was like, I'm done. I bought some. I was like, it is what it is. So yeah, so they're looking into crypto. They're getting into crypto. I know one of the biggest one was Warren Buffett. For the longest time, he was like, crypto's a sham, crypto's a sham. I just heard last year he bought some. So they'll be knocking it down. Another one was Jamie Dimon. He was, I think he was with Chase. He was knocking it down for the longest time. He was like, Bitcoin's crap. Bitcoin's crap. And then they came out, oh, Chase, we're doing it. Oh, we're doing it. We're so they're all doing that. Like if you go right now to JP Morgan, I think it's JP Morgan's website. You go click it on, boom. In the very first page, they're talking about innovation, cryptocurrency, meta universe. The meta universe is the next, big push right now. Right. But they're all talking about that. Yet a couple of years ago, they were knocking it down. So there is a change coming. There's going to be a new financial structure. I don't know what it's going to be, but I do think heavily that crypto is going to play a part of that. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a chance for all of us to eat. So that's my optimism. But let's go back to what Fuzz was saying. He also said Bezos and Gates already got back all the money they lost in the divorces. Yes, they did. And that was, unfortunately, they got all that money back. They got all that money back during Kofifi. I mean, think about who's like number one profits during Kofifi. Amazon. Yep. That's insane. That's insane. While the mom and pop shops were, shut down, never opened up. There's so many places around me that it was just restaurants that me and my kids will go to. And, my youngest would be like, Daddy, can we go get these wings from over here? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, bud, let's go. And then we'll get there, shut down. Damn. Closed.
There were a lot of businesses that they didn't survive. One of the nail shops that I went to, they closed, but they actually just sent like a group text the other day, and they were like, "Hey, our grand reopening." So that's pretty good. Cool. That's pretty cool. They were able to come back. They had a rebirth. So for them, it was more of a pause, and whether that hurt them or it didn't hurt them, the fact is they're back.
No, it definitely hurt them. It definitely hurt them. I mean, any small business you're struggling
financially,
to begin with.
Financially, they definitely took a hit. But what if that strengthened them, mentally or emotionally, or they were able to do something else in their personal lives, So whether it was a good thing or a bad thing for their lives at that time, the fact is they're back. So, I definitely want to get back over there and support them.
That's why I take 2020 as a major blessing. I know everybody's like, oh my God, 2020 was the worst year ever. But going back to the comment that Fuzz, his last comment, I'm going to skip a few here. Mm-hmm. But he said, there's a conspiracy to break up the nuclear family. And he's 100% correct. Mm-hmm. He's 100% correct. And that stems from everything you look at. Especially every big name activist movement, deep down inside, their actions is breaking up the family. Mm-hmm. Now, 2020 was a blessing for me because it brought me closer to my family. At least my kids. Like I was home, I was able to see what they were learning in school. I was able to spend more time with them. And in that sense, I was like, I don't want to go back. I can't go back. This is where I need to be. So in that sense, it's like, once again, you see things, you see it, you know about it. What are you going to do about it? You got to use it as a tool. You got to use it as a tool. You got to see the things that are going out here, and you got to be smart. You got to be one step ahead. You got to have that common sense. You got to have that street smart and figure out, okay, if this is how they're going to play it. So like Fuzz said, Bezos and Gates, already got back all the money from their divorces, right? So why not buy Amazon stocks? They're the ones that are going to survive. Or Microsoft, right? They're going to survive. Mm-hmm. Those to me, it seems like easy plays. So if they're going down now because the market's down, they're going to succeed. Why not buy some of those stocks?
What scares me about this whole great reset is the fact that they're trying to bring like the big corporations closer to the government.
Yes.
Rather than, making sure that they stay apart.
And it's already there. Blending. It's already there. If you look at the power that Facebook had for the last election, it's there. Mm-hmm. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the stuff that they're banning now, the censorship. I mean, it's unbelievable. I never thought that I would ever see America be like this, but it is. It is. So the other option is what? make your own platform, which they always say that, oh, make your own platform if you don't like the bands. And they're trying, but you know what? They get knocked down. They don't have the masses. Like if you look at music is left-leaning. Entertainment, movies, shows, all left-leaning. Social media, left-leaning. The news, left-leaning. Everything it's like it's guiding towards a certain message. Mm-hmm. So at some point, that's not what you want. The only thing you can do is turn it all off.
Yeah.
Turn it all off, live your life, and once you start seeing maybe the world awakes, then you come back and you fight the fight. You fight the good fight. But in a way, you got to kind of be a little selfish. You got to be selfish in the sense that you got to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Self-maintenance. You got to preserve yourself. Like if you've been awoken to the reality that is life right now, and nobody else is on board, that's going to make you go crazy. You're going to be like, why nobody else is seeing this shit? I know it made me crazy because I was telling everybody. And everybody's like, oh, you're toxic. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. So then there's a phase, like there's that rage phase. Like, why is nobody seeing this?
Because you were slapping people. I'm telling you have a good message. Just stop slapping people.
Yeah, come on. Why are y'all listening?
And I think that what that came from, like your need to kind of give yourself nutrients, do that self-growth, that self-healing. Yeah. And now that, you're in this healing, now you're coming back with the message and you're like, hey, like I have something to say.
Right. Because when I was doing it, it was in a state of like shock almost. It was like, oh my God, this is happening. We got to change the world. What the hell? And like, it's all in good intention. Like, it was all good intention. We gotta But the reality is you can't do that, right? So it's like, if you really can't do that and you notice everybody around you is not listening, they're not tuned to that, you got to kind of down it down and be like, all right, how do they play? How do they play the game? Now let's play the game.
Yeah. So the powers that be showed their hand during Kofifi. Now the web of control is exposed. Fuzz just commented.
Is it though, Fuzz? Like we see it, right? We see it and we're like, oh my God, what the hell? But I mean,
it is exposed. That's the thing. It is exposed. Whether people are choosing to look over and see that, that's the case that we're missing right now.
But the exposure, all right, so it's out there, but it's not being, gaining momentum. It's not being seen. It's almost like it's not being advertised, right? It's like it's a product that's out there, but it's not being advertised, so nobody's seeing it. And the people who do see it, because this is the same thing that happened with me and my buddy, my long time friend that I had to cut off because I'm like, look, you're in the program. You're still stuck in the program. You want to be an NPC, and I get it. So be an NPC. I just can't be near you with that because you're personally attacking me. So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. You're taking it too personal. So it's like...
Wait. What's an NPC? Military police?
No. NPC is a non-playable character in a video game.
Oh. Womp womp. I should have known that.
So a non-playable character in a video game, they started using that as means to talk about everybody else who are kind of just like blinded and just going through the motion.
Okay.
So that's like everybody around you kind of feels like an NPC when you start, awakening and seeing things differently. Mm-hmm. So like you go to them and they say the same line, and you go to the next person and they say the same thing. All right, so let's go to some more Fuzz comments. He said, "I'm going to enjoy the decline." You know what? I am too because I know I'm going to make money from it. I know I'm going to eat. I know my kids are going to eat. Mm-hmm. I know everybody around me is going to eat, and hopefully, if we empower you guys are going to eat. So yeah, let's enjoy the decline. It's coming. It's happening. It's happening right now. So what are we going to do about it? Let's just build our momentum and let's figure out a way to survive. That's the way I see it. So Fuzz said, changes only happen through a big event. Problems, reactions, solutions. Yes, and that's why one of the biggest things that came out of the last market crash in 2008 was Bitcoin. So are we going to World War III? I really don't care. At this point, I don't care because my day-to-day is not going to change. And if it does change, I'm going to have that hustle mentality to figure out how to adapt and overcome. I know that. I'm going to be blessed in whatever happens in the world. because it's my mindset. This is always going to be Sean, and they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that. Like,
So you said problem, reaction, solution?
Yeah, problem,
so that,
reaction,
you kind of see
solution.
that also with like Kofifi. Like Kofifi was the problem. The solution, I mean what is it? Problem,
reaction, solution.
Reaction. The reaction, I feel, was like a little controlled with fear. Because fear is
Yes.
a very controlling emotion.
To have their outcome, their solution.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's not really about, us solving the problem. It's just what we're being fed.
However,
and we're all just okay with going with the flow. Whatever's happening, that's just like, okay, that's all right.
Correct. However, you being smart, came to your own conclusion with that. But if you say that now, they would label you a conspiracy theorist.
That's crazy.
And they would be like, you're wackadoo, you're cuckoo, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the science.
My thing is, like, why is there such, like, negative connotations with conspiracy theorists? Like, why aren't we open to free thinking?
You know what? It's just a way to shut people down. It's a way to it's a way to shut. It's one.
Like, we should be looking to our conspiracy theorists. Like, yo, what the hell are we not seeing over here? Like,
remember when we wanted to do that show topic? Why are you labeling me?
mm-hmm.
That's one of the tactics that they use to get people to comply and to stop, being a rebel. They label you. They shame you. They use these tactics to they manipulate your emotions. These are all the stuff that they do to get you to comply. It's all about compliance, right? So think about, like, did that thing that we wore, did that really do anything?
Right.
No, it was a sign of compliance. And the person who did it, guess what happened? Everybody, you see the videos on Twitter, on YouTube, the guy on Target, like, oh, leave me alone, and everybody's just attacking him, right?
Yeah.
Because he's an outsider. He did not comply. So that's all it is. It's all about compliance. That's why there's like a lot of people who are just walking away from their jobs because they don't want to get the jab,
mm-hmm.
and they're calling it the Great Resignation, right? But once again, they take it to the limit. They're like, look, I'm not going to comply. I'm not.
I have another knock at my door.
Ooh. All right, I'll keep reading some more juicy comments from Fuzz. He's on a roll. Well controlled is exposed. Everyone sees the web of control. They don't choose to look at it because the alternative is much worse. Nobody wants the spinning plate to fall down. That is correct. And actually, that goes back to the whole, like, the stock market, the house, like, everything's in a bubble right now. And all of it's going to pop. It's all going to come crashing down. We're going to go through, like, a Great Depression. Probably we're moving into a recession right now. But we're going to have a Great Depression. I mean, all that, you see it. You see it. It's just a house of cards. It's a house of cards. Even with our politics, all a house of cards. And once again, what can we, the guys, the boots on the ground, what can we do? What can we do? Without being labeled conspiracy theorists and everybody like, oh, he's crazy. That guy's crazy. Right now, I know I sound crazy.
I don't know if it's a matter of, slowing down the way things are going or changing direction or anything like that. I think it's a matter of making sure that we all, we all change our lives going into this. Like you said, like, make sure we all eat. Like, there's no reason why we can't all, enjoy life the way that we want to enjoy it.
Right.
There's an abundance. Right. There's an abundance of need for everyone's individuality.
Right. But that goes all to each individual's mindset. So, like, people who I saw posted on Facebook, I just got to stop looking at that. I stopped looking at that crap because they were just so negative all the time. First, they were negative about Trump. Then they were negative about Kofifi. Then they were negative about, whatever next thing that we got a virtual signal about, they're negative about it. So it's like they get fed, feel this emotion, and the only emotion they ever feel is negativity. And it's like, that, and once again, that's the negativity that's feeding the world. So everybody, the CNN is pumping out the negative crap. million viewers are watching, and now a million viewers are stuck with this negative energy, right? And then the next thing you know, here we go, talking about World War III. Okay, what happened?
I was unmuted. I'm sorry, that was rude.
So let me read some comments. So Buzz said 9/11 problem, reaction, solution. Housing crash, problem, reaction, solution. Correct. And it's always the reaction that gets blown out of proportion to fit a certain narrative. So like 9/11 happened, the reaction was, oh my God, terrorists. And guess what we lost? We lost our privacy. We're never going to get that back. So it's the reaction that we always got to be really suspicious about. But as the masses, we're not. We're just sleeping. We're dormant. Which is okay to be, instant gratification. That is social media, Netflix, all that entertainment, all that the stuff that we love. Don't get me wrong, I love it. I'm a movie freak. I'm a fan of all the movies. I can go around my house, show you all my Star Wars movies. It's everywhere.
But you know what? It's not that. It's not that we saw it coming, and that's what we have to realize. Like, no one saw this coming, for the most part. The people who are on social media, the people who are asleep right now. So, we can't expect them to notice it on their own almost.
Yeah, I think you're making an excuse for them.
I think it's understandable that everyone's still asleep, and it's a process, and we're in an awakening now. We're part of the awakening.
Well,
we've woken up first, but.
Well, let me ask you this. All right, so you lived through two major crises. Let's say two major crises that we could think of right now, right? Mm-hmm. You lived through 9/11, right? And the biggest thing everybody was warning at during 9/11 and after 9/11 was we're losing our privacy, right? Was it the Freedom Act?
9/11, I was 12 years old.
I get that. But do you still remember the excuses people would say when they were like, hey, you're about to lose your privacy?
No.
You don't remember the excuses people made? I'm trying to think if you can get to it. So people were saying, when they were like, yo, we're all losing our privacy. They're spying on us, right?
Right.
People would say, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. Why should I care? Mm-hmm. See, people make excuses to validate nefarious actions. And the same thing happened when, you can go through this whole last 2 years and you can see the negative happenings and people are like, oh, well, I mean, if we could save one life, I hated that one. If we could save one life, then it all matters. I'm like, bro, life ain't even that gentle. Life is not that gentle. Look at the animal kingdom and look at how they freaking tear shit up. Life is not that gentle. It's the survival of the fittest. We should not be making excuses for weak. Look, I love my life. But I know one day I'm going to die. And if I don't take the actions in my life to make sure that I can survive, then that's on me. That's not on you. That's not on the world to coddle me.
I definitely see your perspective.
Oh, I hate that. Oh my God. If as long as we save one life.
Don't do that. You're going to get canceled.
Yes. I hate you that. Thank you, folks. Yeah, so it's just you saw it with 9/11. You see it now with Kofifi in these last 2 years. You're probably going to see, foreshadowing. We're going to see it coming out, whatever's going right now with Russia and Ukraine. There's shady shit happening, and little by little, it's like we're getting less and less freedom. Mm-hmm. But look, I'm going to make the most of it. And then
but it stems from, us taking for granted what we have. That we're not noticing, the little things that they're starting to take, because we're all just like, oh, I don't do that anyway. I get what you're saying.
Do you know right now that if you, let's say you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they say, hey, you're a suspect for murder. Mm-hmm. Do you know that they can go see your car, and now your car has a whole GPS log of where you went? So now if you drove to where the murder occurred, and let's say you were in that building by chance because you were seeing somebody on the third floor, right? Murder happened on the second floor. You have no alibi or whatever, or your alibi falls apart. Boom, you're guilty because of technology.
Oof.
Your GPS just proved you did the crime. It's like it's. Yep. Daddy Govey fixed my life. Yep, that's what it is, and it's just it stems to us being kids and not building that foundation. Like we shouldn't turn to the government. We should turn to family. And once again, Buzz is 100% correct when he's saying that they're going after the nuclear family. They are. They're making everybody confused on what sex they are. Oh, what should I be? Whatever's popular, that's what I'm going to be.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're accepted at home. And look, there is nothing wrong with telling, look, if you have a kid who's overweight, you should work out with them. You should say, hey, yo, you're overweight. Like, there's no problem with that. But now they're trying to be like, oh, body shaming, body positivity. Like, that's unhealthy. Like, how can you be so mental in your head to not love your child to say, hey, you're unhealthy, you're causing yourself health problems? Like, I don't, like, once again, I don't get why the world acts like this. It is what it is, and I got to do what I have to do to survive. So what else did Fuzz said? He said, it's cringy to post your Vax card on Twitter. I agree. Did you do that, Liz?
What?
Did you
People
post
are
your shit on
posting
social
their
media?
Vax cards?
Yeah,
I have
did you
not.
post yours?
I have not, and I will not. No.
They were posting, not only that, but they were posting like the Band-Aid and the shot. They were doing the mirror shot. Like, oh, look at me in the mirror. So think about how cringy society has gone from when World War II, right? When you had the poster with the girl, she was like this, and she's working in the factory, right? And she's like doing what it takes at the home front to fight World War II, right? That's what people are doing this in the mirror with the little Band-Aid because they're scared. They're scared of the cold and the flu. All right, let me stop because we're going to get canceled. Pause again, we started. He said, did you know the national debt is $30 trillion, but the unfunded liability is over $300 trillion? Yeah, and most of that rose within the last few years. And it's only going to go, it's going to keep going higher and higher. Look at how much the government's funding every year. What was it, like 16 trillion or something they just funded to pay themselves? And you think they're going to keep it in cash? No. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi. She makes what, $200K a year, and she's worth $200 million. She's buying stocks. That lady is saying, oh, we're going to pass this law. I'm going to buy this stock. Insider trading, call it what it is. It's insider trading, but she's making money. She's buying those stocks because they know that the dollar's going to go this, and those stocks are going to go like this. So they're getting paid. Let's get some too. Let's all eat. That's what I'm saying. There's enough to go around. Let's eat.
Yeah.
Like I read somewhere last night, that they said that there's enough money for everybody to have a home, not be homeless, have food on the table and live a good life. Like, there's enough money on this planet to do that. But it starts in here. Like they tried so many times to give homeless people homes. They don't want it. Why? Because there's something not working here. So people keep believing.
A big thing that we need to see as a society is a change in our education system. From the younger years. I feel like we should teach our children how to meditate. That's something that I've tried with my kids, and my kids can't meditate yet. And I'm like, well, damn, why didn't I start this with them earlier? It's because I didn't know to. I personally, I'm only just starting my own meditation path. And I feel like that's something important that we should be teaching our the future generations.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that you said that because right now there's a big push in schools for mental health. And once again, they're going to do it in a very bad way. It's going to be poorly executed.
Right.
And they're going to be like, let's medicate, right? Because there's going to be funding there from the pharmaceuticals. Let's medicate when you have a mental issue. And most of the mental issues that people do have can be fixed through meditation.
Yeah.
Through that clarity, because it's all in here. It's just an imbalance of what you're thinking. That's it.
Especially if we see as a society we are stuck to these screens and stuff, and we're being fed all this information. We should be teaching our youth from a young age how to clear it. You know,
Yes,
how to fight
yes.
that meditation, how to block
But they don't
it.
want you to clear that. They don't
No.
want you to clear that because you're more you're more susceptible to manipulation if you have anxiety, you have fear, you're depressed. All those things, those three energies right there can they can control you like a marionette. Boop, 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 control you just with your emotion. They don't want you to be strong. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be, free. They don't want you to feel good and be empowered. Which is funny because all these movements are about empowerment, but none of them is actually empowering.
Right.
They're creating a victim narrative.
They're creating more divide.
They are.
It's just
They are.
another reason for us to divide and pick a side.
And the biggest one, and I know you hate when I harp on it, but it's feminism. Feminism is the longest standing plight, right? But think about where it started and think about fast forward where it is today. Like feminism destroyed the nuclear family and they put two able bodies in the workplace. So they were like, oh, wait a minute, women want to work too? Oh shit, let's get this going. And they did. And now they have women in the workforce, they got men in the workforce, double the slaves.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
they want
That's
to
mind-blowing.
talk. Yeah, and it's crazy that people want to talk about like, the plight of African Americans. And look, it sucks. I hate it, but you didn't live through that. Nobody's alive that lived through that. But today, you're living modern day slavery in a 9-to-5 job, and you won't call that out. You won't say that's a plight. You won't say, "Oh my God, what is this?"
Yeah.
Like that's really what we should do. We should all get together and start a movement to go against the 9-to-5 and figure out a way. Empower ourselves so we're not working for other people, we're working for ourselves.
And we're creating, local communities again. Like we should definitely be people who like shop local. Everywhere. Doesn't matter where you live. You should be shopping locally. Fuck Amazon. Yeah, it's easy. It comes to your door, but don't be afraid to go outside. Don't be afraid to, say hello to your neighbors when you're
I'll tell you
passing
one
them
thing.
away.
Local food is amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, chain food, like you can go to Chipotle.
I had the
but
best
you go to a local
food
spot?
yesterday. So I drove into the city to meet. Well, I drove across the river to meet my attorney for family court.
Okay.
So I got there early and I grabbed lunch in the city because great opportunity. So I went to like this little Vietnamese shop. And it was like a rice bowl with like chopped grilled meat. Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Right? That's like I love Chipotle. Chipotle food is like just a burrito or quesadilla or whatever. I make that at home. And it's so good. I just love it. I love the combination. But what was it? The one in have you went to, was it the Burrito Kings in Warwick? They moved their spot.
Taco Hombre.
Yeah, Taco Hombre.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I love that
They're
spot.
really good.
Yes.
They're really, really good. You know what? Gyro King, that's the one that I go to. There's a Gyro King here. Oh, so good
They're
too.
good.
That's what I'm saying. Like local places, like small and pop. I love going to those places. I love
And it
going to
gives
those
you,
places. I love,
an experience in someone else's culture too. Because a lot of this food that's really good, it's cultural food. That's like, my parents.
It is right, right. It's their food, right? It's their culture, and it's good to experience that.
Shit, our culture is food. Like I go to Capicu all the time and get Puerto Rican food. I'm like, it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's different. All right, I'm gonna make excuses for not cooking Puerto Rican food at home. It's different. Like growing up, we would have like really big family get-togethers. So it would be potluck, and like this titi would make the rice, and like this person would bring like the pernil. So you got to try like a little bit of everything all the time. But like at home, like I don't want to make more than 1 or 2 dishes. Like I don't want to have all 4 burners going. No, thank you.
So what you're saying is you need to start hosting more potlucks?
I do. I need to start hosting more potlucks.
Call into family and have family coming over and having just a good old time? Is that what you need to do?
I miss
You don't
that
really have
because that's
parking
really
in
when
your
you
house
get
for
some
that.
good food.
Yeah.
And they
Remember-
say like food brings people together.
Remember our one uncle's fish? Oh, it was so good.
Oh, so good.
And we would
So
always go there
good.
for the fish.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would always like
But you see,
chant.
you
We
tell
would
her-
always chant for him too, like from Jerry Springer, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
But those are the things, like, you got to realize that when you have good memories, there's subconsciously there are going to be things that associate with those good memories. And they say, like, you could smell something, and when you smell it again, it'll be like a flash of that memory.
Instantly. Has that happened to you?
Instantly. Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
Smells, taste.
Yep.
Like I could eat a fly, and if it gets that right certain taste, I'm instantly brought back to like being a kid again.
Mofongo
And I'm like,
and
oh,
chuleta
dude.
frita. Ooh, I love chuletas.
Yeah.
Yes.
But your dish is down in the comments. So Fuzz said, let me go back to some of these. The Patriot Act, you helped me out on that one. Thank you, Fuzz. Then he said the government got a dossier for people that steps out of line. Yes, they do. And that's the reason why they're making an example of January 6th. Because, I mean, January 6th was a joke. That was just a joke. But they're making it seem like they're the worst people ever. Yet the people who were destructive that summer with Black Lives Matter,
They got a pass.
they got a pass. Not even that. They were like arrested and let go later on that night because the DA was like, we're not prosecuting anybody. So, I mean, think about the people who held down Seattle for like a whole month. The autonomy zone. Yeah. So they held down, and then these people from January 6th, they held down the Capitol for like an hour. And they get like 2 years or whatever in prison. And then the people who held down Seattle for like a whole month, where Trump was like, yo, let me know if you need the National Guard. I said, no, I have no hesitation. You want them? You want them? But it's crazy. Because if anybody on the right came out like that, they would be labeled Nazis. They would be labeled, white supremacists. They would label all that stuff.
And that's what it
it's
is.
funny
Like, you
too,
see,
because,
we
like-
do need to go into that. The labels. What's with the labels?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's exactly what
But
it
it's
is.
just-
Like when you
but
create
you-
a label on someone, you can use it to, you can use the masses to influence what they're doing.
Yep.
Yep, you label them and then that's it. They're branded.
For life. And it's the whole big cancel culture. There's the whole big cancel culture that's using you name the words that are out
I
there.
swear, I feel like the cancel culture, hello, how is there, this is the biggest form of bullying.
It is.
And as a society, we're just okay
But
with this?
But it's bullying.
What?
But it's bullying in the reverse. It's bullying in the reverse in the sense that the weak are the ones who have a voice now, and they're the ones that are bullying the strong. So the strong is somebody who actually did something with their lives, right? The strong is somebody who's actually saying, I know I can do this. I'm out there. They're, they could be a celebrity. They could be an athlete. They could be whoever it is. And because they're a free thinker, they speak outside of what's the norm, what's the talking points, what the rest of the NPCs think, right? Then you got these weak little Twitter trolls. They're the ones who cancel them.
Yo, trolls are the worst.
Yeah, they are.
Worst. Damn.
I could never put that energy out there like that, though. That's not just for me. I got into some tit for tat, maybe 1 or 2 online, and after that, I'm like, this ain't even worth it, bro. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who you are. Why am I losing my shit right now?
Yeah.
But that goes to back to the whole thing of once you get awakened to the reality, you're like, well, how can you not see this? You just want to beat people to see things, and you can't do that, right? So it's either you're on board with me, you see it with me, or stay stuck in your dreamland. Enjoy, have fun. I'll love you from afar, buddy. And then that's it. And then because when you have people of like minds, that's how you build your tribe, and you can trust them, right? I don't have to look. Buzz is giving me content more than that. He's giving me all the talking points right now because we're like-minded. We're like-minded, and we're putting the message out. And the people who are gonna ride with us, who's gonna mess with us, those are gonna be the people who are like-minded, who get the message, who are awoken.
Yeah.
And the people who are gonna come after us are gonna be those trolls. because we're rocking the boat.
Fud says, life is easy if you follow the narratives, and it sure is.
It is
and
very
that's
easy.
that's
It's
where we
very
all
easy.
are, where we're just following. We're just part of the herd.
Yep.
We're just following the mainstream. Like, oh, this is the direction
Yep.
we're going. Like, oh, this needs my attention today. Like we're not intentionally living, and that's where we need to
and
get.
one thing, and there's a thing that I learned in the men's community, and it's on YouTube and all that, is that a lot of these guys, when they get red pill, they go through some tragic, relationship thing that makes them awaken to what is female nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say the guy who's not awoken, he's still the blue pill. That's the guy who's still in the matrix, right? He took the blue pill, went back in, forgot about, Morpheus and all of them, and, he's blue pill, right? Then there's the guys who took the red pill and kind of want to go back. They call those guys the purple pill.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of people are awoken, but they don't want to take the reality of thinking like, oh my God, all this is happening. And it's the government who's supposed to protect me doing it, facilitating it, funding it, So a lot of these people are just like, no, let me get back into my cozy, because it's warm, it's comfortable, it's easy being the blue pill, right? So let's see what.
So the purple pill, I hadn't heard that reference before. So the purple pill, you're just living in the gray, you're aware of what's going on, but you're still comfortable in the direction that your life is headed. So you're just staying with it.
You have the mentality of the red pill, but you want the life of the blue pill. So you can never be truly blue again because you know it in your head. It's always going to feed you in the back of your head because you already know. So that's why you're purple. And then there's the other ones. They're like the black pill, which is people who are just nihilists. They're like, the world's going to end. They're like the Joker. They're like, all right, let's just ruin it all. Those guys are great. They make great movies. And then there's hopefully people like us, the white pill, where we're coming in with hope. Mm-hmm. I like that. I'm going to take a label. Cool. Give me that one. Because I do want to be positivity and hope. And I feel like, once again, I'm going to break it down in the most simplest form I know. The Grinch that stole Christmas. He came, he took all the presents. He stole that shit. He literally did that. And they came out, they're all holding hands. Right? They made the most of it. Yeah, they made the most of it. That's literally what we gotta do. But we gotta do that after they blew up the world, and we just all come together in a toxic, toxic cloud going down on us. That's what we gotta do. That's what I'm gonna say. Because it's we see it coming. They're doing this. The powers to be are doing this. They're embedded in the media. They're embedded in politics. They're embedded in this everywhere. You can't change it. The only thing we can do is make the outcome be what we want for us. So even though we're still going to cut through all that bullshit and still make it what we want. Mm-hmm. Because we have the ability to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
And that was something I actually learned when I was in the Marines, the ability to adapt and overcome. They always told me, they drilled that in my head. Mm-hmm. So I was like, no matter how bad shit gets, you got to have that ability to adapt and overcome. And sure enough, that's the mentality I had when I was going through hardships in life and back in 2017 with work and personal life. And I was just like, bro, I just got to keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
Work out. Lynn said it the other day. I started working out, and you feel amazing after you work out. You just de-stress. You de-stress. Now I'm doing that every morning. I wake up and I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I stopped doing the Oculus workout. And I was trying to do other ones.
I saw you just post.
No, so listen. So I was trying to do other things, because I was like, well, I'm paying for this. And I was like, do I really need this expense? But I decided yesterday, I was like, yo, I miss it. I need that back. I need that back.
Good on you though. So I don't have Facebook installed on my phone, but these no, there's no, you can't get away from it. They text me to my phone. Check out so-and-so's status.
No way.
They do. And
through
so
Messenger or through your regular texting service?
Through my regular text message.
What?
Like my phone is being used right now, but I would show you that. They send me a text message and they say, check out so-and-so's status. And like I ignored it, but of course, if it's your name, I'm gonna look at it.
Like,
So I click on
wait.
it, and then it opens up a web page and it brings me right to it brings me right to Facebook.
They're like,
Yeah.
that's it. You need this. Come back.
You can't get away from us.
Come
We're
back.
everywhere. All right. So Fuzz said, I'm a Gen X. Growing up, I always did the opposite of what the world told me to do. Today, everyone is an NPC and people can't think for themselves. So you know what, Fuzz? And that's what I love about you, because you came to our channel because you were open-minded for that.
Yeah.
So keep doing that. Keep believing in yourself. Keep believing in yourself, because I know you will doubt yourself, because I've doubted myself. But the reality is, you're a free thinker. So make the most of it, because you can invent something and the rest of the world, the NPCs will come follow you.
That's true.
That's how it is.
Yeah. You just have to keep thinking
So-
outside the box.
Yeah, and know that there's other people out there that are thinking like this too. Because I know I was thinking like this for a while, and I finally got you over on board. My conspiracies leaked in. She finally bought one of them. So don't give up. Keep being a free thinker. Don't give in to the NPC temptation, because I know how it is. Look. We saw the Matrix. Neo saw his boy, betrayed him for a piece of steak. It's easy. It's easy. When you have creature comforts and life is easy, you don't want to think about what's the potential out there, that it could be worse.
Yeah.
Right? That's why everybody's so scared of World War III. That's why there's so much negative energy. That's why there's so many taglines for that.
Yep.
And that's why people are going to manifest that, because of their fear.
Yes.
Because they're like,
That's
oh
a
my
huge
God, if
one.
this
Yes.
happens, you're going to take away my PlayStation, you're going to take away my Netflix, you're going to take away my Uber Eats, you're going to take away, Tinder, you're going to take away Bumble, oh my God, I don't want to live a life like that. So that's why they're all clicking on all the clickbaits. World War III, World War III, World War III. And then that's manifesting that negative energy.
Yeah. Even if people are like, oh, I don't want this to happen, you're still manifesting that energy, because you're still bringing it to the attention.
Fear.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you're tying with yourself, because you're a conduit of energy, right? We spoke about that. You're a conduit of energy. So your emotions out there, people can sense your emotions. So the fact that you don't want it, you're still living a life of fear. So you're putting out negative energy of fear. Where instead, what you got to do, and with a cocky smile on your face, you're like, oh, that's never going to happen. Laugh. Because that's positive energy. And that's the positive energy that you're putting out there. Be like, I know World War III ain't going to happen. The universe ain't going to let it happen. I got too much going on. See? And I generally laugh about it. So I'm putting that positivity out there. That shit ain't going to happen. Right, Link?
Yeah.
You gotta be on an island somewhere. That shit ain't gonna happen. Come on, you got sunny days. They're gonna put some smoke clouds? Or you gonna have an ice age? That ain't gonna happen. All right, so
Mazan.
Fuzz says
Hi,
liberal
Ma.
privilege. That is true. Liberal privilege is the only privilege I do believe is out there. I don't believe in white privilege. I don't believe in none of that crap. Male privilege, I don't believe in none of that. Liberal privilege. Yes, you're right, because they hold the narrative. All right. Life is easy if you follow the narrative. J.K. Rowling, the biggest liberal in the world, got canceled for wrong thing. Yes, because she stepped out of line once. She was on board with feminism. She was on board with Black Lives Matter. But she stepped out on the LBQT. Ooh, they came down on her. But mind you, she's a free thinker. She made millions and billions of dollars, putting out these books that children love and read. She brought you into this imaginative world, that was so powerful. It was empowering too.
She's not canceled in this household.
Think about the story.
We are
too.
HP
Like
fans over here.
She had, kid wizards that was learning how to be, powerful, and then ended up being powerful. They had the hero's journey, right? So her books were dope, and they still came at her. Who came at her? The weak came at her. So we got to stop giving voice to the weak. We just, J.K. Rowling, the biggest. Oh, Buzz said I'm black pill. No, you're not. No, you're not. If you were black pill, you would have gave up on this show a long time ago. I call bullshit on that, Buzz. You're not black pill. You still got hope. You still got hope. And we want to cultivate. We're going to cultivate that hope. We're going to feed that hope. And then you're going to take action. We're all going to take action. We take action in the sense that we wake up and we get motivated to do the show, twice a week, right? We're figuring out how to do this while we're traveling. Mm-hmm. And look, we're motivated to do this because I know that there's smart guys like you out here who they're giving up on hope. They gave up on the dating scene. They gave up on the social scene. They're giving up on, their entertainment, their form of entertainment, because it's all leaking in there. And it's just like, no, I don't want people like you to give up hope, Fuzz. So no, you're not black pill. I won't let it happen. Take that shit back. Put it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. You're not black pill.
Smack him. He needs a smack.
yeah. You gonna be happy, Fuzz. Come on, Fuzz. You want some of this? You gonna be happy, Fuzz. So change it in the comments. Let the universe hear you. I want to see that. But you're not black pill, man. No, you're not. And then Ma said, hello, my children. I'm watching from TV. Yay. Thanks to Alex. He helped me yesterday. I love you guys. Socks. Oh, yes. The socks are fitting for today. So I got to stand up because Tris was like, yo, I just love Ray, messing around. So I'm going to stand up for this one. Let me see. Can I, how do we rotate this camera here? Oh, okay, I figured it out. All right. So I'm going to stand up with this chair.
Bring out a ladder. Climb the ladder.
Climb a ladder. All right, here we go. You see them?
Go closer.
You see them?
I see stars. Oh, they're Star Wars. I see them.
Yep. Since we're talking about the Great Reset,
nice.
I'll put it on for the Empire, right? The New World Order is coming. It's gonna be Darth Vader. And we gotta choose.
Yep. It's funny. I just saw Ma's post this morning on Facebook where she tagged us both, and it was it was definitely on the Spanish channel when they have the weird sound effects and stuff in it. But it was Ewok comes running down the path and hands something to someone who's walking down the path, and then he just continues to run off. And the people keep walking, and then the stormtroopers come in, and they're all like, "Huh, what do I do?"
So honestly, we're living in the new world order. I mean, Biden slipped the other day saying new world order. It is what it is. We do have stormtroopers around, and that's your neighbors. They'll rat you out if you free
that people have
thinking.
been tossing around.
What's that?
Let me see if I can bring it up. Oh, Build Back Better.
Yes.
That's the one that's popping up everywhere.
Yes, and that was if you actually type that in and you watch videos, they were talking about that way before that was Biden's campaign slogan. Mm-hmm. So Trump had "Make America Great Again," right? And then you saw how they turned that MAGA into a red hat. Red hat equals the new white sheet. They made it they really criminalized you wearing that cap, right? Mm-hmm. So the next one, Biden needed something to kind of, I don't know if he wanted something that was strong like that because Build Back Better sounds just like, Make America Great Again.
Right.
But once again, did he choose this or he was told to use that? Because if you go in online, you'll find people talking about that. Other, leaders talking about Build Back Better before Biden even used that. Once again, I think that's all stemming from people oh, don't talk about the Illuminati, So it's that's how you talk about that's the thing that comes to your mind when you're hey, there's these powers to be that are controlling, everything in the world. Mm-hmm. Then they're oh, that's the Illuminati. You're talking about the Illuminati, right? Once again, that's what they do, knock you down. But the reality is, it's happening. It's out there. You can deny it all you want, but things are changing. It's up to you to say, all right, there's a force. I'm going to use that force to direct it over here as opposed to directing it over there. That's the way I see it. He said he's been black pill since 2007. Oh my God. That ends today. That ends in 2022, my guy. You can't be, damn, that's just too long of having that negative energy around you. That's just, whew. I mean, look, I am not gonna lie. I might have been black pilled once or twice in my life, like just giving up hope. But at some point, you're still breathing. You gotta get hope back. You gotta turn that shit around. It's like, what's the point then? What do you just go? You just going through the motions? Like, what's the point of waking up every morning? What motivates you to get out of bed every day? Because you're doing it. You're doing it. Like, there's nothing that you're like. There's no calling, no purpose, no drive. Gotta be more to it. There gotta be more to it.
Maybe he hasn't found it yet.
Yeah, but they gotta be.
That's where the hope comes in. There's more. That's where the hope comes in because, you know, so what? You haven't found it yet. That was yesterday. That's gone.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
like maybe tomorrow, maybe today.
I was searching for it for a long time. It took me years to figure out what my purpose was. Mm-hmm. And I was searching. But you know what? I took the stance of, I'm going to at least try to be better than I was yesterday, today. I'm going to be better today than I was yesterday. And I always thought about that. And I was like, it's either just growth and development on my own, letting go of the things that happened to me or whatever, things I lived through, right? Healing in here. And then thinking about, you know, how do I make my bank account better? How do I make, you know, my living standards better? How do I make, and then just go from there each day and day. Before you know it, a year goes by, 2 years go by, and you're living a different life than you did 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. You're taking care of your elderly mom. So family is what keeps you going.
Yes.
You know, that pride, that, hey, like, yeah, mom, like, I can take care of you now. You took care of me when I was a baby. Now I can take care of you.
Yeah, and you know what? Kudos on you for being blessed enough to, one, have the resources to take care of your mother, and two, have the fortitude to take care of your mother. Because a lot of people just put them in homes.
Yeah.
And the fact that you love your mom, you're not black though. You're not black though. There's too many positives that I'm getting off of you, and I'm just seeing you through the comments you're putting in our chat. You're not, man. You're not. I don't see it. A black pill person will not take care of their mom. That's just it. They'd be a narcissist, right? They'd be a nihilist. Like, what's the point of it? No, I don't see it. I don't see it, Fuzz. I was always 100% on everything else you put in the comments, but I'm not on that one, man. You're not. You have hope. I know you do. Keep working on that hope. Now, you might have some insecurities. You might not have enough confidence. And that's okay. We'll get that out of you too. But you still have hope. And that's all we need. That's what they needed in Star Wars. They just had hope, right? The rebels, they were a small force and they kept getting shot up. Before you know it, they used the force. We're going to use the force, Liz. Be good. Be happy.
Yeah, honestly, you can take like small steps to make changes. Like, just pay attention to what makes you happy. You know, like what makes you smile, and then, you know, create more of that around you. You know, look for that energy.
Appreciate.
You know, like if you know, stepping outside kind of puts a pep in your step. Step outside more.
Go for more walks. Yeah, clear your mind.
Yeah.
Meditate. Meditate is a big one. Meditation is a big one.
Yeah,
because you find yourself...
Just shut it all out. How to turn it off.
Yeah, you'll find yourself in a lot of... you'll gravitate towards that negative energy more if you don't actually take the time to acknowledge your mind and say, look, I don't want to be in this negativity. So then you drive yourself to say, okay, what is it going to take? Clear your mind.
Yeah, I definitely want more of like that family time. So I actually have one of the cousins coming over tonight. So that's going to be fun. But I enjoy that energy. That's what I like. I enjoy it. So I invite people over often.
Good. Good on you. Good on you. Because you're definitely a social butterfly. I see that more than me. Like, I'm not, you get a couple of drinks in me and the music's right. Yeah, that's the only time I'll be social. But it's dead. I'm just like, I can't. I don't know how you got that. Like, you're always bubbly. You can make conversation, talk, laugh, and that's great on you. But being like that, you also meet a lot of people around you.
Yeah.
So yes, keep inviting people around, keep doing events, keep living life and enjoying people's presence.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. See, like I like enjoying, like I like going to the movie theater because I like having people there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like a social thing, but we're not really communicating. We're not talking. It's social through emotion. We laugh at the same moment, right? We're like at the same moment, right?
Yeah.
We're clapping at the same moment. We're getting excited. Like we're going through this emotional roller coaster, but we're doing it together. I don't have to talk.
That's hilarious, but that's so you.
It is.
That's perfect.
Like, I leave, go home, and I'm like, thanks for the company.
I finally understand.
But that's why I love going to the movie theaters. It's just a whole, like, and it's sad because I've noticed lately that my attention is slipping in the movies. Like, I do see myself on my phone, and I'm like, Ray,
You'll start leaving that shit in the car.
Right, you're like, Ray, you're here for the experience. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I blame it on the movie though. Movie's boring.
I'm gonna step off real quick. Intermission.
Where are you stepping to? Where you going?
I gotta go pee.
Oh my goodness.
go.
I thought you want to get your drink.
No, you don't see how much I already drank? Like, I drank 2 teas. I'm, like, downing my bottle of water.
Yeah, me too.
I'm staying hydrated because, like, I'm, like, dealing with something, man. I feel like I have, like, a head cold building. I've got some, like, mucus. I'm like, oh, this has to pass.
Allergies?
I don't know. I just dealing with it.
Take some vitamin C. Take the vitamin C.
Oh, I'm definitely, you know what I have? I have, like, those, the emergency packs.
Yeah.
I like those.
Take some vitamin C.
Yeah. I made a post of that on TikTok, and it was a pretty popular post. So a lot of people take emergency.
There you go.
Yeah, and I actually learned the technique. So when I did the post, I was actually like, I was just explaining like, hey, like don't fill your entire water bottle and put the powder in. I was like, hey, just like do like a little bit, and it's like a shot, you know, because drinking that whole thing, it's hard. Doesn't taste good. So somebody commented and she was like, hey, try mixing it with a little orange juice and it changes the flavor. I was like, mind blown. Like,
or what? You could just get your vitamin C from orange juice.
Yep. Well, no. Like the extra vitamin C, it's like it's healthy for you. I usually take it like once a month during Shark Week, or like I do it like when I don't feel well, when I feel like I'm coming down with something, it's just like a quick boost.
Yeah, I found out about those packets in Vegas because everybody was taking them for like hangovers the next morning. Yeah. All right, then here we go. Go pee so we can get back into another topic.
All right.
Figure out what we're going to talk about next. All right. Yes. So if you're just tuning in now, welcome to the channel. This is Sibling Rivalry. I'm Ray. Lynn just walked away. And today we're talking about the Great Reset and what you guys can do to prep for it. It's happening. It's happening now. But we want you guys to come out of it at the other end of it as kings, queens. We want you guys to be on top because we believe that, it's just all about how you think. You think positive, the world will provide. Law of attraction, right? You put it out there, the universe provides. You know, I'm blessed in the sense that I have an amazing lifestyle. I just got into it because I believed in it, and I was blessed with it, 2 years ago. Come here, brother. Let me have a hug. You be good for mommy, yeah? Well, I'll be big now. So yeah, so it's like, all right. So it's you just gotta believe in yourself, believe in because it's the confidence. It's the confidence in believing that the universe will give you what you want. Because I self-doubted, I had doubts. It was my buddy at work who kept me motivated, who kept me believing. And then it started with like, I want to be home more. I want to be home more. That's what I kept thinking. And then all of a sudden, rolling into 2020, like what happened? Kofifi hit. And so I was home more. So then I was like, oh shit, okay, now I want a truck. I want a truck. I want to go camping with my kids. And I just lived in that memory. I would just live in those, not memories, because I didn't do it yet. I would just live in that instance of just like daydreaming about me driving in that truck, going camping with my kids. And sure enough, at the end of 2020, I bought my new truck. So 2021, we were camping everywhere. And 2021, I started thinking, all right, I want to do my job. That's my next thing. I want to leave my job. And the end of 2021, I left my job. So I'm a firm believer in say it, Lynn? Say your catchphrase.
Speak it into existence.
Yes, ma'am. No, you change your catchphrase every time.
What do you mean?
Did you have another one that was a lot longer?
Oh yeah, I do.
You're like, what do I mean?
Your thoughts create your feelings create your actions create your results.
Amen.
Right? Your thoughts.
Yep. But to sum it up, speak it into existence. You got to believe in it. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not just like, oh, hey, it just fell in my lap. No, I took action, but it was the action because I kept thinking about what I want. Mm-hmm. I kept daydreaming about that lifestyle. I kept feeling that energy. I kept knowing that elevated me. It made me happy. It made me positive, living that, daydreaming about that. And then I took the actions in my day-to-day to make it happen. Like, that's what motivated me through some tough times, is knowing that there's a better outcome out there. And then I'm going to make it. Ain't nobody going to give that shit to me. Because nobody is. Nobody's going to give you, no, somebody might give you an opportunity, but you gotta shine. Mm-hmm. You gotta come in through the door, busting in and doing the work. So that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people out here, we were doing the work for other people.
Yeah.
We're scared to take action on ourselves, so we'll take action to make somebody else rich, make somebody else famous, make somebody else, happy. Why don't we, let's stop doing that and let's take the initiative to make ourselves happy. But I said, I'm going to become liberal and win elections. And when I got everyone hoodwinked, I'm going to turn red to get the LLF. You know what? That happened with Trump. And he was the outsider. So he was the one billionaire who wasn't going with the other billionaires. And look what happened to him. Mm. He did it, though. He did it for a brief, 3-4 years. We were living great. We were doing great. But if you look, it's funny, too, because it's funny. Like, they made this man seem like he was the next, like, Hitler, right? But yeah, you could see clips. There's clips of him with Oprah on her show. There's clips on, like, of him at, like, WWE. There's, like, clips of him and just people everybody back then wanted to be Trump, right? 80s, 90s, then he becomes president. Now, because he's not going with the agenda, he's not saying the message, let's screw him. Mm-hmm.
Why is troll culture rising? And why can't we just be honest anymore? It's true, we can't be honest anymore because honesty
requires integrity.
What is it? Because honesty, telling somebody the honest truth might hurt their feelings, and we're not allowed to hurt feelings.
I don't care about that. I don't care about people's feelings. I really don't. I'm like,
that's why culturally we can't be honest anymore.
Once again, that goes back to integrity. This goes back to what Buzz said earlier. Liberal privilege, or people are being told what to feel. Mm-hmm. Right now, we're stuck in a society where people like to virtual signal. Right? It's like, what's the cause I can get on to show that I'm for that cause? Mm-hmm. Let me put that flag outside my house. Let me put that sign on my front lawn. Like, I want to show I care, man. But once again, they're not being honest because they don't have no integrity. Like, I stand by my integrity because I know, I can say something and it could be brutal honesty. And they may not like what I'm going to say, but I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about my integrity. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be a person of lies. Because then what comes after lies? Manipulation. Mm. And we're seeing that too. And yes, Fuzz, you're 100% right. This is a troll culture because people don't have integrity. Because I guarantee that if everybody's name was tied to their comment online, I think they'll think twice.
Agreed.
But because they're anonymous, they could be whatever gremlin they want to be. It could be whatever gremlin they're feeding in here.
Damn it, there was like an image I was trying to pull up earlier when I was messing on my phone that like goes right into this, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's a thing that I wanted to talk about early too, and I couldn't find it. I was scrolling before we came on the air on YouTube, because I know it's this guy on YouTube, but he posts like memes and stuff. And so I was like trying to find it, and I couldn't find it either. So I was like, well, it wasn't meant to be.
Right. But it's true,
Yeah, so
man.
you gotta-
Like when we're online, the fact that it's anonymous brings out the worst in people.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Like
And
you
that's-
would
and
not
that's-
and you know what? It's probably not who they are in their everyday lives. And then they go on the internet and they're anonymous and they're like, oh, I can say whatever the hell I please.
Right. And that goes back to what I said. Like, they don't have any integrity. There's no integrity in that person.
Right.
And that's why they can be two-faced. That's why they can portray like, oh, I'm the nicest person ever. And then, go and talk behind your back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, if I truly loved you, I'm going to say, if I got something to say, I'm going to say right in front of your face.
Right.
But if you take it the wrong way, that's on you.
That's on you. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know me well then because you think I'm coming from a negative place.
Yeah. I agree. Like that actually is like a big reason why like one of my childhood friends, like we just don't talk anymore because I felt our relationship was strong enough for me to tell her the truth. Like I called her petty. I was like, hey, honestly, that's petty. I was like, that's too much. That's petty. And our relationship's never been the same. Like people cannot receive constructive criticism.
But in a way, you can't hold yourself back to being constructive either, because at least you put that out there, they acknowledge it, and then you saw the reaction, and you're like, you're toxic. I need to cut you out of my life.
Right.
And it is what it is. Like you guys gotta see that sometimes. That there's people. If you're trying to make moves in your life, you gotta have a strong foundation. It's the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people around you. Because I know that when I was going through some hard shit, circa 2016, 2017, the people that are around me was you, Ma, my coworker at work, and a couple of my childhood friends that I would just call and talk for hours. And then they were the ones who motivated me to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you got to have that circle of friendship, or that, not even friendship, there's that circle of people that will have your back, that will champion you, even though you don't believe it. Mm-hmm. Because once you start believing it, then that's when you start taking action.
Yeah. I like making a point to be like a cheerleader in the lives of the people who like choose to have me in it.
Yes.
I praise them for the small things because like we need that reassurance.
Yes.
We need somebody to say, "Hey, you're on the right path." Like, good for you. Kudos.
And it's like that. And it's like that. I learned that concept when I was at work, actually. Mm-hmm. So at work, they would always be like, if there was a project or something that needed to be changed, and we needed what they would call it was we needed a champion behind this project. Mm-hmm. So the champion would be somebody who had a voice, who were motivated to keep saying, keep telling it, keep talking about it, to push for that change. Mm-hmm. So like we would say, hey, you know what, this project, we need to change this. And it would directly affect this one department over here. Mm-hmm. So then we would go talk to that chief, that chief officer in that branch and be like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. What do you think about it? They'd be like, I loved it. What is it going to take? And so we would be like, well, we need you to go talk to the big man. And he would go. Mm-hmm. Because he's like, yo, this is a great change. Yeah. And so he would be the champion for that. So it's kind of like the same thing. Like, who's championing you in your life? Mm-hmm. Like, who's your champion? Who's going to believe? Or who's going to doubt? Mm-hmm. Like, if you tell people that you're already going to do something and they doubt you, they already hit you down. One, they're coming from a negative place. And two, you don't need that negativity around you.
Right.
You know? So then it's like, all right, let me see what I can, let me take what I'm going to gain from this relationship. And you might just be, hey, you might just be a drinking buddy, so I can let off some steam. But I'm not going to tell you about my business decisions because you're going to shoot them down. I don't need that right now. Now, don't be. You got to be open for constructive criticism too, you know. But you can also know if the person's coming from a good place or not.
That's a key right there. You know, like knowing if it's constructive criticism or if it's toxic and you need to cut it out.
Right. And the way to tell that is the energy, like how they're coming with it. Like if somebody tells you, like, hey, yo, I'm thinking about opening up, my own barbershop. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, yo, that's a great idea, but I wouldn't put it in this location. I would put it over in this location because there would be more foot traffic. Mm-hmm. See, he kind of shot down where you were trying to put it, but he didn't shot down the whole idea. He's adding to it. Mm-hmm. Whereas another be like, oh man, there's too many already. There's like 5 in that spot. What are you doing? That's a dumb idea. Mm-hmm. See, that's a guy who's coming from a negative spot. Now, not that he's being toxic. He's just he could just be a negative person in his life. Mm-hmm. Like he can't think in that sense, opening up his own shop because there's already 5 shops there.
And you have to realize, like, even subconsciously, like that simple interaction can determine whether you even try to open the shop or not. Mm-hmm. Because you know what, you made the brave first step. You like spoke it out loud, your idea. And then the person you're speaking it to, like if they shut it down, now you're doubting yourself.
Yeah.
You're doubting your idea. Or if they're like, oh man, like that's a good idea, you should develop that further. Now you're like, oh, you're right. It is a good idea. Like,
it is a good idea, right? That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Right? Now you have reaffirmation of your beliefs.
Yeah.
And we need that. As humans, we need that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, who could say, like, even something basic, like, yo, it's a good idea if I eat something today. I need nutritional, I need a good meal or something. Mm-hmm. And then you tell somebody, like, nah, you don't need to eat. Like, come on. How are you going to be second-guessing yourself for something you know you got to do, right? It's the same concept. It's like you thinking about something, right? You're ready to put it out in the universe. You have your own self-doubt. Why would you let somebody else who's just going to shit all over your idea? Mm-hmm. And that's just because maybe in their lives they never really had a great idea. You don't know. They might just be jealous that you came up with a great idea. Mm-hmm. So it's like you got to make sure you got the right people around you. So that way when you say things, you have the motivation and the support you need to act on them.
Fed said we lost our spidey senses. Third eye, that gut intuition, women's intuition.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And now I trust my gut more than anything. Mm-hmm. Because, like, that was the biggest thing. And actually, going through the stuff I was going through in my personal life, and, like, every time I had that gut instinct, it was always 100% correct. Mm-hmm. So now going through that, now I'm like, yo.
You're learning to listen to it. Yeah. I'm learning to listen to it. Like, there are so many times that, I've been like, oh, I knew I should have, and like I second guess that voice that tells me to do stuff. I second guess my intuition. So it's something that I'm working on.
But see, once again, but the gut, my trusting my gut and that instinct was always in a negative aspect. So now in my life now, I want to open up like my third eye and my gut and my instinct, but open it up in a positive way. Mm-hmm. So I can trust the things like, hey, when I have self-doubt in making a certain investment, right, pulling the trigger and I sit on it and then it starts to move and I'm like, oh, I missed it. Like I want to be able to catch those and be like, yo, trust your gut, trust your instinct. The universe is going to provide, right? This is how you got to provide. Okay. Right. That's what I said. Like when I was like, yo, I want to walk away from my job, then I asked the question. And I did this like out loud, driving home in the car. And that 1 hour, like I miss that sometimes. I miss the commute from work and back. Because that was like that hour. That was that hour to like digest, like decompress. And it was just a way for me to analyze things. And I would just literally just have an hour conversation talking to myself. People probably thought I was crazy because I was answering myself, whatever.
They thought you were a Bluetooth speaker or something,
I hope so. Whatever. But I was driving And I asked the questions. I was like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. I don't have the energy to do this no more. And then I would ask myself, Ray, what are you gonna do about it? And I was like, I don't know. I gotta figure something out. I was like, I need money to be able. I was like, I just need to figure out a way to make money to pay myself, so my company doesn't have to pay me. And then when I say like, I just have to figure out a way to make money. How do you make money? Then you start going down that rabbit hole, right? That rabbit hole. You start going down. You start like, I was doing research. Oh, stocks, dividends. Like I was getting more into all that stuff. I told you,
And
I
it's a
got caught
process.
day
It's a
trading at work.
process. You just have to ask yourself open-ended questions.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Not like, oh,
And
should
that way-
I? Because then there's a yes
No.
or no. No. You have to say,
Right.
like, how am I going to?
How? Yeah, how? How are you going to do this? And then your brain starts, your analytical brain will start answering. And you got to hear that answer like 2, 3, 4 times. Like you want to tell yourself multiple times. I think what you said with the algorithm, that there's a thing that people have to see us like 5 times before they actually click on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with like your brain. You got to think of an idea like 4 or 5 times before you're like, is this something here? Is this what we got to do? Should we take action? And then before you know it, you're doing something.
I lost it.
And you froze on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you froze on me.
I'm fixing it. Oh,
You
maybe
froze
not.
too. Everything froze.
Are we still
'Cause
live?
last
It's
time
showing
it
we're
was
still
just
live.
YouTube.
I mean, you can still hear us, right?
I can hear you. I don't hear anything on the show. Let me see.
Oh, my Zoom, like,
Wait.
closed down.
Oh wait, yeah, it's still audio. It's just not video. So we're still live. We just don't have video. This became a podcast. Welcome to the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ray.
This is Lynn. Welcome to the
Yeah,
channel. Similar rivalry.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Hey, you know what? Let's keep going. It's a good show. Like I said, I've been energized. And I notice more. As I'm walking places and I'm smiling at people. People are smiling back. People are they're feeling your boy up here, man. They're feeling your boy. I'm loving it because I've never gotten attention like that in my life. I guess I was walking around like a grumpy old man.
You were.
Yeah,
you were
I can
working
hear
on your
you, but
RBF.
not see you. Huh?
You were working on your RBF.
Resting Ray face?
Yeah. No, but you know what? People can pick up on that energy, and when you feel good about yourself, that radiates.
Yep. And I'm been radiating like a mother. Oh man, I love it. The other day I went to
you know
the
what?
liquor
That's not just like in the physical aspect. Like if you love who you are on the inside, that radiates energy also.
Yeah, and you know what the craziest thing about it is that we are creatures that are always looking for love. Like you see people are just looking for like romantic relationships and just getting into the wrong ones with good intentions, but they keep getting the wrong one over and over again, right? And you know why that is? That's because they don't love themselves. They don't love themselves enough to have boundaries and say, you're bad for me. This is not going to work, right? They force that relationship because they want to be loved.
Right.
But you got to love yourself. You got to love yourself before somebody else can love you.
That's a big one.
So where are we
That's the
going?
reason why, we were talking about self-love too, because you have to work. You have to do that inner work. You know, like part of loving yourself is, acknowledging that you're doing your best.
Yes.
And if you're not putting your best foot forward, if you're just half-assing things, like you have to ask yourself, why are you doing that? Take pride in what you do.
And that goes both in the mental and physical aspect. Like working out, like if you're not working out, you're doing something wrong. Like you're gonna have that negative energy around you. Because then you're gonna be like, I should be working out. Yep. Why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing it? You put it down in your head, right?
Yeah.
So then go work out. Go work out. Take care of your body. Your body's going to take care of you. Then go and get the mind right, right? Meditate. Take care of your mind. Your mind's going to take care of you, right? And then once you take care of your mind and your body, the next thing is to take care of the soul. And then that's where you'll truly start to love yourself because you've awakened something inside you.
Did I lose you? I lost him. Oh man, technical difficulties. Alright guys, I'm going to try and refresh it and get right back. Alright, 5-minute intermission. Alright, looks like I was able to refresh it. Starting up the feed again.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
There we go. There we go. Are we back?
I mean we're live, but we don't have the
Just
video
on
yet.
video?
I'm working on it right now. Yeah, I had to close it out.
What
So
happened?
here we
What's
are.
going on? We got gremlins today? We got gremlins. Let me make sure the audio is still going on.
And we're back.
We're back?
Yeah, man, like Zoom crashed. I had to like Control Alt Delete and go to my task manager.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think I know how to do all that.
Oh my goodness.
We're back.
What?
If you're just tuning
Wow,
in, welcome
what?
to the show. Welcome back to the channel, Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray, and I don't know what's going on here. Nothing ever works around here.
We found Ray.
Ray's back. Ray's back. We found Ray. He was lost, but I was once lost, but now I'm back. Audio's good, no video. Thank you, Fuss, for letting us know everything that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are we back? We're good?
We're good now.
Video's good now. All right, let's go. Let's keep talking. I lost track of what we're talking about. What's the topic? The Great Reset. So what's the takeaway, Lynn? So if the Great Reset is happening, what should we do?
I think right now, the step is to just work on our minds. We have to become mentally strong as a society and like hopefully, build community around you. It doesn't have to be a huge community, but build your tribe. Make sure you have that support system around you that, you can grow mentally. Because that's the one thing that can't change.
Right. I agree with you.
It's the one
Right
thing
now,
that's yours. It's 100% yours. That's your freedom right there. You have to, do the mind work.
Build your boundaries. Because things are going to get rough. You got to build your foundation. Things are going to get rough.
Fuck getting rough. Things are rough.
Things are rough. Yeah,
Things
food
are
is
rough.
going. Yeah,
You know what? But we're
they're already
alive.
talking
We're
about,
breathing.
Food shortage.
We have opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing that the whole Great Reset was kind of talking about, is that there are these plans to kind of like almost like they're just talking about like, all right, how are they going to distribute food going forward? You know, how the country is going to help each other and, you know, create lines of you know, food, of that resource. But nowhere in this talks are they talking about like pesticides and like how much damage it's creating within us, like as a society, what it's doing to our children, all the hormones that we're pumping into our food. Like that's not part of the topics that they're talking about. They're just talking about
Right.
like, hey, how are we going to make more money off of this?
Correct. And that was the same thing. It's what we're seeing in the pharmaceutical company. They don't really care about healing us. No, they want us sick. Why?
Yeah.
Because we
Because
make
it's
great
profitable.
customers.
If we're
is
sick, they can
profitable.
put us on pills.
Yep. And keep
That's
us
all they
going.
need.
Keep us on that hamster
Yeah.
wheel.
So,
So
they're not worried
one of-
about, you know, distributing healthy food. They don't want to put, you know, more home-cooked meals in front of the families. No, they don't
No.
even want you to have that dynamic. They don't want you to be in the household. They don't want you to have family meals.
Right. They want you to be rushing. Oh, gotta come home from work. Gotta go take, you know, little Bobby to, you know, soccer lessons or whatever. And then what do you gotta eat? Oh, we're just gonna eat Burger King because we gotta eat something. It's like, you gotta look. I lived it. I've done that. Trust me. I've been down that road. But you gotta take ownership of your life. And I know one of the sayings with the Great Reset is, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And that's like supposed to scare you to a sense. But in a way, though, it's like, is that so bad? Key thing is to be happy. And so you got to be happy in any situation you're in. Because right
Stop
now,
the Great
I mean,
Reset. Fuzz in the comments, to stop the Great Reset, we must make us so valuable they can't deny us a chair at the table when the time comes.
yes. Ooh, I like that one.
Create value.
Yep.
And that's, you know, that's part of it too. Like, what kind of value do you bring to our society? Like, think
We need to
about
start
that.
giving
What
our-
are we doing day to day that influences like our community around us? Are we doing positive
Yes.
things? Are we just not giving a fuck? Like, what are we doing?
Right. And we need to start giving a voice to the free thinkers. Like, we got to acknowledge the free thinkers, and we got to give them a platform. Like, why are we being entertained by lemmings, right? And we're clapping at it. Oh yeah. No, we should be drawn to the free thinkers, the ones who are going to inspire us. The ones who are going to say, yo, I envision a world that we have, you know, freaking robots, and the robots are going to do everything for us. And we're going to have, it's going to be great. And then we're like, yeah. And then the next guy's like, I know how to build a robot. And then we're like, oh shit, it's happening. You know, it's like, why don't we give that platform? You know, that's very hyperbolic, but it's like, why don't we think like that? Like, let's have the free thinkers think out loud. And give them a platform instead of the people who are the naysayers, right? The weak.
I like that you
And
said
stop
that, you know, like
calling the
allow them to think out loud, because that's something that I'm working on myself. Like, I actually created like a sigil to like remind myself to allow all thoughts. Because I feel like oftentimes I start thinking things and I second guess myself. I'm like, no, you know, and like I stop the thought. I don't allow myself to fully
Finish it. Yep.
Yeah.
And develop that.
So
and
yeah,
feed
we
it
need
and
to
give it
create
life.
something where it's okay to think.
Yes.
And it's okay to think out loud. You know, and we need a
Yes.
place without ridicule.
And if what I'm thinking conflicts with what you're thinking, then we need to be able to have discourse and talk about it in a constructive and a very like valuable way.
Yeah.
Not how we're doing it now. Like, and this is why like you can't knock social media, because social media brought the world together. So we should be able to have those conversations on Facebook and Twitter. But the thing is that one side is being heard and the other side is being censored.
Right.
And so we gotta acknowledge that. And we gotta figure out a way to be able to come together. And though we don't like both sides, we're still listening and trying to come to a compromise.
Right.
Because it was like, I think it was I forgot what I was reading. It might have been on Twitter, where somebody was like, hey, you know, watch what the people who are saying compromise with me, take one, meet me in the middle. I'll take one step forward and you take one step forward, right? So you take the step forward, but then take another step back. And then they're like, oh, but let's compromise. Let's meet in the middle. And so what you're really doing is you're just giving them a way to put their platform forward, right? Because they keep stepping back and you keep moving and you keep like, in the guise of compromise, right? So it's like, no, we have to be able to have discourse and make sure that we truly are, meeting all grounds. It's not just one-sided. Because it's one-sided right now. It's very one-sided right now. And it kills me. It kills me. What can I do about it? Until more people wake up, until more people are like, yeah. Fuzz had a great idea. He was like, let me act like I'm this, and then reverse on them. But that happened. And he got crucified for it. So I don't know. We gotta stop. We can't be chameleons. We can't be chameleons. We gotta be the free thinkers. We just gotta be louder. Once again. Yeah, I just take care of mind, take care of body, keep a strong inner circle around you, build that foundation, and don't be afraid to start speaking up.
Yeah.
Because once you have that foundation, and once you take care of yourself, that trifecta, mind, body, and spirit, and you have a strong foundation around you, that's when you start elevating yourself and you start speaking up. That's what we are right now. We're at that elevation, right? We got our voice now, and we're going to speak up, and hopefully our message is going to get picked up, and it's going to get out there, and we're going to inspire other people to once again, keep that cycle going, because this is a positive cycle that we're in right now. I mean, just the two of us, the fact that we both left our homes, we have not left our jobs, right? We're not working for somebody else. We have our homes. We're taking care of our children, and then we're stepping up and trying to take care and heal the world. It's like, that's empowering for me. Like that gives me purpose, right?
Yeah.
So now we take that energy and we feed it to everybody else. And we show love, we build a tribe, and we keep doing it over and over until we change the world. Brick by brick by brick. I believe in it.
We have to create.
It's my calling.
We are. We're just creating an unstoppable force.
Yes.
We're starting this like energy. And it's not even like we're starting it, like we're jumping onto it, like the energy came around and it touched us, and now we're, spreading it also.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Yeah. Keep it going. It's like when you're in a concert and everyone starts to wave and you're like, whoa. Yeah. Keep it going. Just keep it going, because it's dope. I mean, think about, like I jokingly say about a concert, but think about when people are in a concert and we're all chanting together, right? Or we're all singing the same words together. Like, we're just in unison, just us in unison. That's empowering, because it's not just you.
Yeah.
It's like the guy left to you, the guy to right to you, right? You're like, oh, let's do this. Right? And that's what we have to build up. So yeah, is it gonna get bleak? Yeah, it's gonna get bleak. I mean, it's you see it on the news, you see it in the gas stations. Like it's getting rough. It's gonna be rough out there. And the next thing they're talking about is food shortage, right? So you got to cut back. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's going to force me on a diet.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I'm going to take life day by day. Day by day, and keep moving forward unto what I want. And then so maybe I'm going to have to move. Maybe I'm going to have to go somewhere I can fish. Make my own food. Grow my own crops. I should be doing that anyway. Like I'm so dependent on somebody else for some basic needs. Like that's how coddled we are as a society, is that we're still based, like everything we need in life, we're dependent on somebody else.
I think this conversation just like prompted me to make so it's a project I want to make that I've been talking about for a while. Now that it's kind of spring, I can start, but I want to make potato planters for my backyard.
Make your own little garden out there?
Yeah, so like that's where I want to start, with like growing potatoes.
No, don't you have cats?
I do have cats.
Aren't they gonna mess with your shit?
No, I have good cats.
I hope not. Make sure it's fenced out, so no little critters can get in. Because I remember when we did the garden here at my house.
Oh
man,
no!
we were,
gas rations, no Sunday drives. I love Sunday drives. What?
but then okay, but take that emotion you felt of Sunday drives, be like, oh, I love it, and how do you replace that with something else, and keep that positivity going?
Backyard barbecues.
Or Sunday strolls. Hey, it's a Sunday stroll now.
Yeah, that's
Just
true
walk.
too.
It's like sometimes you just gotta take the things that are happening in life with strides. It's like, how are you going to? Are you gonna be once again a victim of what's going on, that negative energy, or are you gonna be a survivor, that positive energy? You know. And then at some point, if it gets so bad, because we talked about it too, we always talking about the apocalypse, right? And then you were like, I'm the quality of living is too low. I don't even want to be alive. So then check out. Check out. If it gets that bad, check out. Like, I know I would check out if, we got some nuclear bombs popping off and there's like, I got to put tablets in my water and my hair is full. I'm like, what's the point of this thing? But I don't want it to get that bad. Like, I love
It's not gonna get that bad.
No, it's not going to get that bad. I don't believe it. It's not going to get that bad. It's too beautiful. It is way too freaking beautiful to get that bad. Look at that behind me. Look at that behind me coming in. That's life right there. But you guys, Sunday walks. Yeah, that's it. Sunday walks. If you lose something that was a positive in your life, replace it with another positive in your life. That's it.
Yeah.
If your thing was like, oh, I like going to the beach, but I can't go because of the water, go to the lake. Right? Go for a walk. Shit, just put on some music and take a nice warm shower. That's what I did all winter long. Just close my eyes. I was just like, oh, I can't wait till I'm in the beach again. You know? It's funny too, because like we were watching I forgot what we were watching. We were just watching something while we were having dinner. And then a commercial came and they were like, oh, talking about cruises and stuff. And so I looked at the prices. And like for the four of us, it was going to be like $1,000, all you can eat. It was just a dope ass cruise, all that, right? But then of course you got to be vaccinated. And they're like after April, 5 and up. I was like, oh hell no. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take that energy that I felt about a cruise and let me just plan a dope ass vacation.
Yeah.
I was accepting $1,000.
Yeah.
So now that, I'm flipping that, that perspective and I'm like, let me drive somewhere. Let me spend the same amount of money and let me have a good time making that big memory. And I don't need your stinking cruise. Because that shit's all going to change in about 2 years. That's all going to change. Wow.
I heard about that.
What's that?
I heard about that, Buzz. So he's got good news for me that 10 airline companies said that masks are killing their business. And I was actually just reading about that on my flight. Like there are, I think it's like 3 different airlines. Their pilots are like suing the CDC.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so and like whether they win or lose, that's not the point. The point is like they're making that noise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
like,
that's
hey,
the
like,
noise. That was the same noise. That was the same noise I love that it's the airlines because it's the same noise that was made when they were pushing the vaccine.
Yep. Yo, can I tell you? I need to share with you what's going on the planes right now. So
please do,
in light of like all these mask mandates that are lifting, a lot of the passengers I guess are like pushing back and they don't want to wear their masks. Now, for the longest time on the flight, it's like, like if the flight attendant talks to you like more than twice, like you're going on the no-fly list, Yep. And that's how they were keeping everyone with their masks on the flight. So now, they announced it was a 6-hour flight. They made this announcement at least 4 times. And they were like, listen, we understand that like there's a lot of changes going on, but we ask that you, keep your mask on throughout the flight. And they're like, we ask that you replace your mask between bites. Between bites! I was like, fuck no. Like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to ask me to do more now that the CDC is like telling me
Now
like,
that
oh,
it's
you
getting
don't have to wear them
laxed, for
anymore.
real. Now that it's starting to get laxed everywhere else,
Who are
you want to
you?
enforce more.
Yes, I was like, no, that is not okay, not okay. So I'm actually really glad that like the airlines are doing something.
But here's the positive. Here's the positive takeaway, and this is where like Fuzz, you, me, like the people, we're free thinkers. We're thinking. We're like, man, this can't be like this. I can't be the only one that's like this. Mm-hmm. Boom, there's evidence that there's more people like that. There's more people that are willing to say, I will not fly if I'll have to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. So there are people like me, like I refuse to fly. I refuse to get my vax. I'm not doing any of that. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, that's all gonna get lax in time because there's more of us than there are of them. And this is a proof of it. This is a proof of it because it's hurting their business. So you're going to see the mask mandates get lifted on flights, and then give it a year or two, and you're going to see the cruise line saying, we don't care about your vax status. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, too, because right now, Kofifi is slowly disappearing, right? Slowly going away. The news is not talking about it no more. We got another boogeyman. And then after that conflict gets taken care of, there'll be another boogeyman. And another boogeyman, and another boogeyman. And then at some point, you got to be like, I already seen this. Like, how many screams do you want to watch? Like, right? Like, how many slasher films are you going to see before you're like, yo, you can't jump scare me no more? Like, come on.
That's hilarious. On the flight, I was, like, glancing at someone else's screen, and they were watching the Scream movie. But they were fast forwarding to all the murders.
That was it?
I was like, what are they doing?
That's a psycho. Like, oh, yeah, he got him good.
Yo, what? Yeah, I think they were like fast forwarding to like their favorite parts or something. But like when I looked over, they fast forwarded to another killing, and then they fast forward again to another one. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me! That's what you're doing over there." Like,
you're trying to like side watch, like, yo, I haven't seen this movie. I want to watch the movie. You kill her. Buzz said, I want a feeding tube. No, you don't. you are literally saying you don't want to be dependent on anybody. And now you want a feeding tube? Even more dependency? Come on, you gotta break your shackle, Fuzz. Come on, we're gonna break those shackles. I believe in you, Fuzz. You're gonna make your YouTube channel. It's gonna take off, and we're gonna ask you to sponsor us. Like, yo, can you give us a shout out? We're gonna be looking up like, yo, Fuzz, you got 1 million views. Can you give us a shout out? Fuzz is gonna do movie reviews. He's gonna do movie reviews, but he's gonna call out all this BS.
Okay.
That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna be like, man, remember when movies were dope? And we're gonna be like, yeah, I remember. And he's like, this is the reason why they're not dope. And he's like, oh shit, I didn't even know that. That's how he's gonna do it. People are gonna come on board. They're gonna be like, so why was this movie not dope? And he's gonna let them know. Oh, you want a feeding tube, man? Nah, I don't want that. Put some more context behind that, because what was that? Where were you coming from with that comment? I'm lost with that one.
I feel like he wants to hold on to the last dance.
The last dance.
Yeah, how we're like, yo, like apocalypse comes, like,
yeah, like,
yo,
you just like, no, save me, Daddy, Gummy, no.
He's like, nah, like I want to hold on to the very last, to the end.
Yeah, I see. That's why I don't know. I don't think we're in the Matrix. I don't think I'm in the Matrix because I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm okay with the programming. It's like, oh, this is the simulation, and I'm just gonna make the most of it. All right, cool. While I'm in the little pod, and they're using me as a battery, Duracell. I'm opening my water over here. All right, so what else do you know about the Great Reset, Lynn? Like, what did you do your research? You said you had to do some homework.
I did. I read up on it. I screenshotted a couple things. Let's see. I feel like I already touched on everything I was going to talk about. I spoke about the difference between like a profit-led approach and a human rights-led approach. I did not talk about that. I wanted to talk about that.
Ooh, let's talk about that. There you go. That's why I asked, because I know you have more content.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, so like with a profit-led approach, like it's again, it's about like making the rich more rich, you know, versus like a civil rights approach where it's like, all right, what do we need? Like, what are the basic necessities, and how are we gonna make sure that like everyone has access to that? You know, and like, you know, food is a huge commodity. Like, we all have to eat, and yet they want to push for it to be more, you know, centralized, more about the businesses, more about, you know, just making money off of it.
Yeah, and actually, like, everything is centralized right now. And that's what we do need is decentralization. And that's one of the things that, like, crypto right now is decentralizing finance, money, right? But how do we decentralize everything else? How do we decentralize our politics? How do we decentralize, like, there's a certain people I know that are calling for, like, balkanization of the United States. It's what we saw happen with the old USSR, Soviet Union, where they all started breaking up into all smaller countries, right? And they're all run by their politics, all that stuff, right? So it's the same thing like we're probably going to see here in the future with the United States, is where you see these red states kind of breaking off, they're doing their own thing. And then the blue states could go do whatever they want. Because like the blue states implement all these policies, but they have a sense of arrogance because they forget that they rely heavily on the red states. You know, if you look at where all our farmland is, they're all red. They all have a certain mindset. They're all about the home. They're all about being conservative, right? They're not about this whole crazy concepts that you see on the news all the time. So when they see like CNN, they're like, "Oh, your kid wants to be a boy at 3 years old." They're like, "What? What?" It's like they you know, they can't relate. There's no relations there. Like they went too extreme with it, and they lost, you know, Middle America, as Hillary likes to call them, the deplorables. Okay. Fudd said, when the airlines require you to put on a mask before and after bites, then I want to feed him too. Okay, all right, yeah, I got you, Fudd. I mean, like, yeah, I can't listen, I was gonna put it back on, but I put a funnel. I got a funnel coming now. Just send the food down, and I don't need my mask.
There are like memes about it, about people who like continuously eat on the flight, like the entire flight. They're drinking and eating, so they don't have to wear their mask.
I did that my last flight. My last flight, you know, the little bag of peanuts. I would eat like a half of one, like every like 30 seconds. And they were walking by. I was just like, just this movement, and they just leave you alone. Apparently not now.
Yeah, now you have to raise your mask between bites.
And don't get me wrong, like, I want to travel. I really do want to travel. Like, I see your urge. I see you doing it, and I want to do it too. But there's just some things I'm not going to break my boundaries for. I'm not going to be somebody's bitch at the airline because they want to stress power.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a power trip. Like,
power.
Relax,
it is a power trip.
Relax.
And I'm not going to do that. It's not worth it to me. I'd rather just get in my truck. You know, it's freeing. And drive wherever I want to go.
Yeah. So there's like a fact. It's like 80% of like the customer like issues that they had to like write reports about in the last year have been mask related, and it's just like people who either don't wear them, and like other people getting upset because someone else isn't wearing them. Like all of like the in-flight issues that they're dealing with is from the mask.
What the airlines is shooting themselves in their own foot is that most of the travel is business related travel. So these are people who have to travel for work. So now you don't want to travel because you're not going to a fun destination and you got to deal with their power trip bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to be threats of saying, look, we're not going to fly with you. And then the first airline that says, hey, we're dropping our mask mandates, we're flyer friendly, businesses are going to shift. They're not going to care about their points. They're going to be like, oh, people wanted to switch over here. We're going over here.
Yeah. And honestly, like countries that rely heavily on tourism, like they are so welcoming. They're like, you know, like, thank you for coming. We need the income. Like we rely on tourism.
Yep. Yeah. And it's like Florida. Florida is one of the biggest states that were just like against all this because they were like, you're killing our economy. We're literally all about tourism. Like if people are not here, we're not. There's no Disney World. There's no Universal Studios. There's no Miami Beach. No spring break. No none of this stuff. Like we need the money.
Yeah.
So they were the ones like, yo, relax and everything. They were the last 2 years. Florida was leading the path for everything. Hey, we dropped the masks. Hey, we dropped this. Hey, we're not enforcing this. Hey, we're not doing that. Because it's like you're just gonna shut us down.
Right, I mean, go to comments. Fuzz is going in over here.
All right, so let's see.
The Great Reset is tiny homes. Tiny homes are an amazing idea.
Okay, so wait. Let me ask you that though. Yeah, because I've been wanting to live out of my van. What's wrong with that? Why do you want to be home rich?
There is nothing wrong with that. I think that's amazing.
Why do you want to be home rich?
You have less to clean.
Less to clean.
Because I'm about that. I don't like cleaning. I do clean because I like having a clean home, but I don't like cleaning.
Less to own. Like less to maintain.
Less to repair.
Less to maintain.
And then you're just making memories. You're experiencing the world around you.
Right, because you're not house rich. Because a lot of these people, they're house rich, so they can see, but they see the same location all the time, and they don't have enough money to go do anything with their lives.
Yeah.
Like I've seen this one guy who, because the last few years I've been really starting thinking about this whole van life thing, right? And there was this one guy who in the beginning of his like YouTube start, he showed where he was living. He had a beautiful view in Canada, this nice view, like lakeside view. But he even said it. He was like, look, I got this view, but after like 6 months, I was already adapted to it. And then I had the same old cycle, the same old shit. So he was like, I want something different. I want to see the world. And so what he did was he let the lease run up. He bought a van, he moved into his van, and now he's just traveling up and down all of Canada.
Yeah.
Seeing his own backyard. And people are like, yo, we want to see you in the States. When you're going to come over? We want, we've been following you and your journey. When you're coming. And he's like, he's like, thank you for all the warmth and all the love. But there's so much I have to see with Canada. I'm not done yet. And so he's motivated by that. And that's his life.
Staying local.
Yes.
He's taking pride in the fact that's where he's exploring. That's where he's spending his time, his money, his energy.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty dope to have like multiple tiny homes where I could like fly to Jamaica and I have my little tiny home waiting for me and I'm there for a week or so and then I fly over to Miami and there's my other one and then
But you could literally do that. You could literally do that now. Like you can do that. Especially with stuff like Airbnb. With Airbnb, because your home, you didn't buy an expensive home.
Right.
You can Airbnb that out for your mortgage. The next thing you know, go buy something else in a little spot. It doesn't have to be in a prime spot. Maybe not Miami. Maybe you're like two hours out. But it's better to drive over than to have to fly over, right?
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's all right. What you just said right now, you just put it out to the universe. You're getting a house in Jamaica, you're getting a house in Florida, and you know why? Because I want to go visit. I want to go and enjoy Jamaica and Florida and everything. So Fuzz said the Great Reset is systemically retarding economic prosperity to a certain few. I mean, people are still getting rich, and if you could see it, Fuzz, you're smart. You could see it. You're gonna know how to make that money too. But unfortunately, that's what it is. The people who've been asleep at the wheel are always going to be the ones who are going to get the short end of the stick. And that's why they could come up with something like, oh, systemic racism. It's racism. No, it's not. Because I know a lot of Black people who got out of less and got more. Who are doing it, killing it. And they won't tell you like, yo, life is dope. They'll keep doing, and they'll keep taking a knee, and they'll keep doing all that shit. But their life is still epic, right? Because they put in the hard work to make it epic.
Yeah.
And nobody stopped them.
They believe in themselves and they chose a path.
Right. And it's not because they're a man, woman, Black, white,
and
whatever.
That's part of the healing process too, is accepting that exactly where you are in life, like you got yourself here. You know, you did go along with this decision and that decision, and this is where you are today. And it's maybe it's not where you chose to be because you weren't really like pushing your life in a certain direction. But you're here today because this is who you are. And that's 100% okay. Don't be hard on yourself or anything. Like, you are where you are today.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Tomorrow's an opportunity.
The highlight is you're still alive, you're still breathing, you can make a change.
Yep.
Acknowledge it, accept it, and then make that change.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were like, "This is your fault. It's all your fault."
Like you got,
wait,
like you know what? You have to accept that responsibility.
I was like, "Wait, no, you went too hard now." All right, so what
the
we got
Great
here? The
Reset
Great Reset
is AI cities always watching you and tracking you. AI cities always watching you and tracking you. I mean, they are, and you know what? At this point, I've like accepted it. Like I've turned on like locations on my phone because I'm like, you know what? I like this feature.
well, what I could say with that is leave the cities. Leave the cities, fuzz. Look, we're talking about a tropical island. I'm gonna be on a boat. Good luck trying to find me. I mean, my boat's gonna have GPS, but you're gonna have to find me on whatever island I'm gonna be on. You know.
When you get here next Tuesday, I'm gonna be gone.
So you know how we were talking offline about how like I wanted to be a pirate, and then I found the privateers, which were like pirates for hire. Well, they're doing that right now. There was an article that just popped up that said that the U.S. government are hiring pirates again to go against Big Bad Russia.
What?
I was like, oh, so that's privateers. That's all I took from it. I was like, oh, privateers. I didn't even like read the article. I was just like, oh, all right. So what else we got? Oh my God, the Great Reset is
I'm telling you, he went
control.
in.
And it is population control. There is a big belief, the world's dying. And once again, I think that that's all bull, because how dare us? We're like this small on the fucking earth. If the earth got pissed off of us, they would be like, there would be natural disasters. There'll be all sorts of stuff. I think the earth can adapt. I think there is a change for population control because a certain few want to be elevated and they want to keep everybody else down. So more people can overthrow a certain few.
Which always kills me. Yes. Like, it's always like, oh my God, population control. Let's like, stop having so many people just multiplying. But then it's like, oh, shame on you if you abort a child. Like, I don't get that.
There's
like,
no
are you trying to control the population or are you not?
There's no shame in that. No shame in that. Trust me, abortion has like gone. You could pretty much abort a real live child. Like, break his neck, and that's everybody could be like, yay! There's no frown upon. See, once again, this victim mentality, frown upon.
It's definitely frowned upon. It's 100% frowned upon.
No, not in this day and age. You can go on TikTok. There's chicks on TikTok just applauding their abortion. Like, what did I do the day after? I'm in the club. Like,
no way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you see this? What happened on social media?
Yeah, that's on TikTok. What? So that's the society we're living in. So there's no shame in getting an abortion. There isn't. But once again, if that went away, what are people going to do? They're going to adapt and overcome. So I don't even understand why we're talking about this. It's like, there's no point in us taking energy talking about these topics, because it's like, and we had a debate. It's on our channel, but it's like, what's the point? We wasted time. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's say they go and say abortion is flat out illegal. Guess what? Then everybody's going to be like, well, it's contraception. All right, let's talk about, hey, before me and you get in on it, let's talk about it in the bedroom. Like, I don't understand this. Like, it's people will figure out a way. So he said the Great Reset is worrying about what is going on and around the world and ignoring your backyard. That's why we're going to build communities.
Yeah.
We do. So we got to build communities.
Like, change starts in your backyard. Change starts with you. You know, like what steps, again, like what steps are you taking to contribute to your immediate, community?
Right. And it's sad because I would even say like, back in the day, to build your community, you would go to church, right? You go to church on Sunday, and that's how you meet your neighbors, you meet people around you, right? Even church was sometimes like the town hall where you would air out some of your grievance with your neighbors, right?
Yeah. Community meetings.
Right. Community meetings. Like, oh, well, he's on my property line. So, that's where like conflict resolution will come from the church. But it's sad because, nowadays there's, the church is toxic too. There's that negative energy in the church too. So it's like, how do we build, we keep saying have that community, build the community. How do we do that? And I think that stems from in your heart, volunteering, going out there and just wanting to do something good and find like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And you gotta be smart enough to weed some people out though. Because some people might just be volunteering just so they can take the pic.
Yeah. Right?
They're just virtue signaling. And those are the kind of people you want to stay away from because they're not honest with themselves. But I really do believe, go out there, volunteer your time, help other people and meet like-minded people and then talk to them and then be like, hey, how do you feel about the world? Yeah, it's bad. So that's why I'm out here doing this. Oh yeah, me too. And then that's how you start building the people around you. Mm-hmm. Because that's what we need. We need more positive action. So go out there, build your tribe. And I know people are like, "Oh, I don't have time to do that." Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You just gotta give up something else. Give up the Netflix, give up the gaming.
The great reset is eating bugs and no steaks. I don't know what's worse, no steaks or the bugs.
What's wrong with that? You still eating though. You still eating. Like I thought about the other day, can I eat bugs? I'm like, hell yeah. I'll just crush them little fuckers up, put it in something like a little broth or something. Food, substance. If I was hungry enough, yeah, I'd be eating bugs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I heard that. Everybody's like, oh, bugs. Everybody's like, well, that's life. And you need to eat life to sustain life, right? Mm-hmm. So eat away, chomp away, make a gourmet out of it. Have you ever eaten a bug?
Fuzz or me?
You.
I have not. No. Not, you know what? Not willingly, because they say like the average person eats like 4 spiders a year.
I love how you know the stats for spiders. Yo, Lynn is terrified of spiders.
Terrified, like I've thrown my phone twice because something popped up on my screen. Like, get away!
Oh, you know what's funny though? Why is it that when you're scared of something and you go read about it, like online and stuff, they have the picture of it like everywhere you are?
Immediately, yes.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I've been eating bugs before. Like I've been on an excursion and the guide was like, "This is a cricket. Crickets has nutrients." And I was like, he was like, "Anybody else want?" I was like, "Fuck it." It was like he would take the ant. He was like, "This is a good ant." We were like in the rainforest. It was like a rainforest, and that's where we met like this tribe. And the tribe was talking about how they left all the land and they were still like Mayan Indians, and they were more like they don't know stuff like cancer and stuff like that because they, they feed off of the land.
Right.
And so like the land provides, God provides, right? So everything we need, it's out there. Mm-hmm. We gotta eat bugs. God made that. It's like God made weed and shrooms. Just saying. Yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, I was just in the moment. And it was in the rainforest, he's like, yo, we gotta eat this. I was like, yo, this is like National Geographic.
I was a daredevil that like jumped off a cliff into the ocean on one of our trips.
Oh,
I jumped. I was like, fuck it. Into the ocean. Like,
and they jump in.
Yep. Oh my God, the locals were all doing it. My whole group, like everyone of our group, nobody wanted to do it, but I was like, I'm doing it. We're here. I'm doing it.
Yeah, how drunk and high were you?
I was in Jamaica, so I definitely had access to cannabis.
And that's how it shows. That's how in all the movies there was like partying, like drinks, drugs, everything. And the next thing you know, they're like, yeah, and then it goes to chapter 2, where that the next morning. So I don't even know what your next morning was. You were married to a Jamaican. The next morning. Were you kidnapped by the local mob and somebody had to save you? That's how the movies go.
Actually, the joke, the running joke that week was that the ocean grabbed my ass because like I hit the water wrong and like I had a big bruise on my thigh for like weeks.
You got a big hand cheek. You got a big handprint on your hand cheek.
Yep, the ocean grabbed it took
That's
the
hilarious.
opportunity. It was like,
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man. The Great Reset is bringing the third world to America. You think it's just America? You don't think it's going to be globally? I think really, honestly, the Great Reset right now is just the powers to be. It's the rich keep getting richer and the poor keeps getting poor. That's what it's going to be. That's what they're going to do. They're going to figure out a way to keep what they got, take care of their own, and screw everybody else up. That's what it is. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are. It's just the poor is going to keep getting poorer. So, once again, see what the rich are doing and do that as well. And I'll tell you one thing they're not doing, they're not keeping their money in a bank account. They're not. They're not holding on to cash. They're looking for other means, gold, stocks, crypto. It's not financial advice. I'm just telling you what the rich are doing. They are not holding on to cash right now. Cash is bad. So either spend it or invest it.
Yep. And that's where like that scarcity mentality often holds us back, because if we have money in our accounts, it's like, ooh, I have a bubble, I have a little cushion, like that's my safety net. And you don't want to spend that. You don't want to switch that over to like crypto, like I don't know.
That's scary.
But
It's scary.
when you believe in that abundance mentality, you trust your decision and you do like make these investments, and then next thing you know, like you're retired.
Hey, and this is why I say that money is like water. There's been bad investments. I've in crypto. I've had the rug pulled on me.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little bit of transparency. Disclaimer. I've had the rug pulled on me. I lost a lot. Let's just say I lost a lot with the rug being pulled, and it is what it is. I'm never gonna get that money back. It's just a lesson to be learned. It was a very expensive lesson, but it's a lesson to be learned. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's new coming in, I'll just be like, hey, look at the top 20. And look at something that you could put and it's, making you 10, 15% by staking it or something like that. Be smart, secure your account, keep your crypto offline. What's the saying? Not your keys, not your crypto. But they're making money. You just got to figure out how you make money, how you get paid. How you get to eat. How do you get to eat? Or are you going to eat bugs? Fun said you're eating bugs. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to eat some bugs. It is what it is.
The Great Reset is carbon tax.
We're kind of feeling that right now, right?
What the hell carbon tax is? What are we talking about here?
Carbon tax. So you know what your carbon footprint is. It's your consumption, right, of energy, right? Mm-hmm. And you're kind of feeling that right now. We're feeling that at the pump.
Okay.
Right? We're feeling that at the pump. Gas is expensive. What's California and all these like blue, politicians, they're saying, what are they saying? Oh, well, if you're feeling the pain, get on an electric car. Get an electric car. That's it. Simple. So it's going to happen.
Money in the bank for a new car. Like, I still have another year on my lease. Like,
just it's like that famous saying, like one of the aristocrats, one of the rich people, one of the famous sayings is, let them eat cake, right? Like these people are starving, they want food, and she's so disconnected. She's like, let them eat cake. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, you're feeling it at the pump, get an electric car. Just go electric. Just go electric. Let's save the planet. So what's coming. Well, what can you do? What can you do? Make more paper. Make more money. You can afford, the carbon tax. Cut back your footprint. Can we ride our bike somewhere? Yeah, we can ride our bike somewhere. Right? Can we take more walks? Yeah, let's take more walks. Look, everything you're throwing out there's a positive way to spend it for you personally, so that way you can survive. I'm trying to build this here. If you're rocking with us, I'm trying to build you up so you're strong for whatever comes. Yes, all this stuff is coming. All this stuff is going to hit you. What are you going to do about it? What's next? Great Reset, tiny homes. Have you seen Ready Player One? They live in cargo containers stacked on top of each other. Yeah, I've seen that. But instead of Ready Player One, look, Ready Player One was a great movie. I love the whole concept of going into a virtual world and going in, but that's instant gratification. Why do you need this to feel happy when you got this out here, right? You got that. And so like Lynn said, shit, give me a tiny home. I want 3 of them. Lynn's like, I want 3 of them. So I can go see the location over here. I can see the location over there. I can, look. And I'm completely agree with that. Chances are we're still going to do this when this gets here. I know I am. But at some point, you got to realize, you got to be like, hey, you know what? There's more to this.
I tried stepping away from this, but I'm back.
And the funny thing is like, this is still corny. But that's the future. And they're going to make it. Look at Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like, look at all the strides Fortnite made. That's the metaverse. That's Ready Player One.
No, have you played Fortnite?
Fun. I might have been watching the kids play it, yeah.
Have you seen it? Like, there's like no building this season.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I mean, they're running like crazy, and the kids are actually playing better.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids are actually playing better. And I told them, I was like, you know why you're playing better? Because you don't have that ability in the television. Because you play other shooters, and they don't have that there. So you guys are on point with your aim. You just don't know how to play defense. So I was like breaking it down for them. So they're actually doing good now. I was like, wow, sweet. But the funny thing is with Fortnite, there's the meme with that's the guy from Fortnite. Mm-hmm. So like people will be like, oh, they'll see The Rock in a movie and they'll be like, oh, that's the guy from Fortnite. Or like they see LeBron James and they'll be like, oh, that's the guy from Fortnite. So one of our games. So I like playing Destiny 2 because Destiny reminds me of Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a guy in Destiny who's like the commander. And so Fortnite with the new season, they just added that same guy. I'm telling you, they copied the shit out of him in Fortnite. So now I go over and I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Fortnite. And the kids just started cracking up. So we call him Commander Fortnite now because, you know, Fortnite stole them. Yeah, so Fortnite's going to take everybody in there. Everybody who's anybody is going to be in Fortnite. It's freaking hilarious. Yeah, so it's like, look, whatever, like, I'll be fine living in a tiny home. Like, I thought about, you seen those cargo containers? Mm-hmm. When they take those cargo containers and they stack them or they make them into a home?
Yes. Yo, I saw one. I saw one out in Cali. I was driving and I was like, yo, that's a container home. And my girlfriend was like, yo, it is. Like, it was really nice, too. I
thought about doing that in my town because there's like a plot of land. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, if I could just get the container, because at the time, containers were like dirt cheap. That was like the least of my worries. Uh-huh. You can get one ship for like $5,000 or something. But get the plot of land, right? Because the plot of land was dirt cheap, but it was a small spot. It was a small lot. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that would be perfect for the shipping container. Pop it right there, right? Fix it all out. Boom, done. But then, like, you start thinking about you got to dig up for plumbing, right? You got to get a plumber to do the plumbing and then you got to get an electrician and all that, and then it adds up, and you're like, oh, I could have just gotten home. I thought about putting because they also have the modular homes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I looked into that too when I was looking to buy. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of nice.
So there was a plot. That they said it was ready for a modular home. Mm-hmm. Like it had sewage, it had all that. All you had to do was just plop it down. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, okay. See, but it's ways of thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And actually, most people living in the city, aren't they living in a small, tiny home anyway? Mm-hmm. It's like, I got too much home. And it's not like it's too much home. Like it's not too much when my kids are here, but when they're not here, it's empty as fuck. And I'm like, God, geez. I see this, and I'm like, at some point they're gonna grow up and they're gonna leave the home, right? So once they leave my household, I'm getting rid of this home. This is too much for me. Way too much for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want it.
Sometimes a tiny home is perfect. Like it's easy to maintain, less cleaning.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna have a home. I'm gonna have a van. I'm gonna be out. They're not gonna find me. I'm a ghost.
You're gonna have the van, and when the van's parked, it's gonna be by the shore, and you're gonna be jumping on your boat.
Hell yeah! This yesterday I was watching this guy on one of the van lives, and he was showing because there's a company that does like easy conversions. Mm-hmm. So like you just go to them, you drive the van there, and like in 4 hours your van's done. So this guy, he was kind of like promoting the company. But he's showing his van and everything. And then on the top of his van, he had a deck made out. So it's like he took wooden slats on the roof of his van and made a full-on deck. So he can climb up the side of the ladder, sit on top there with like a lounge chair and shit,
Oh, that's
barbecue
awesome.
up there. I was like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah, it's perfect for when the zombies come here.
Oh yeah, that's
We'll be able to get 'em, you know?
That doesn't help the other people, you know, those scavengers who would take you out.
Yeah.
Because if, you know, Walking Dead taught you anything, zombies ain't a big deal. So the other people, you get to see people's true nature. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have
Which
loose
we already
morals.
have. We already have a glimpse
Dance of the
into,
Grey.
by seeing how people are when they're anonymous on the internet. That's
When
their
they're-
nature right there. Yeah, the people
when
who are
they're,
just out there
unanimous?
trolling, just being nasty,
Anonymous?
like
When they're anonymous online?
yeah.
We're seeing their true nature.
Yeah.
I think honestly, you like people see that and people are like, oh, they're bullying and all that. To be honest with you, I just see that as a broken person.
It's a what?
I just see that as a broken person.
Gotcha.
But there's something fundamentally wrong with that person that they got to go online and be this evil.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? In a way, I hope that
And it
they
usually
can
stems
find.
from self-hate.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I say deep down inside, I hope that they can find whatever they're missing. Because to be like that, to be missing something that deep inside you, that you're that broken, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I don't have enemies, but I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So that's oh. She just going, you are the worst. Cancel you now. Like, that's what I vision. That's what I vision. First of all, you did. They would do that. They were like, first of all, dang. I couldn't be like that. Oh, no. You got to direct your energy somewhere more productive. Can you imagine all the effort he put into writing comments, trolling people, if he actually put that into writing a book?
Right?
Putting that energy into something? But the question is, are the trolls, are they like that because they lack creativity? Because they don't think, they're not a free thinker, and they don't have it in themselves to be creative, right? Because like you see comedians, like they're always going after comedians to try to cancel a comedian, right?
Right.
Is it like deep down inside you know you're not funny? Like, are you corny? Is that what it is? Trolls are corny? That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. Trolls are corny. Like I don't know. That's what I think. Like you can't make people laugh, so you go after the people who do. Like what were they trying to? They were trying to cancel Dave Chappelle. And good on Netflix. And Netflix stood by Dave Chappelle, but yeah, they went after him.
I do remember that.
They went after him, trying to cancel him, and I'm like, what? Because you guys can't be funny? He's funny.
Yeah.
And what makes things funny is because there's
an element of
some
truth
form
behind
of
it.
truth in it. Yeah, there's an element of truth behind it.
Yeah.
So that's why you're laughing at it,
Yeah.
because you could relate to the scenario that he's making a joke about. So if there is an element of truth to it, just laugh. We gotta laugh at our differences. Like I know that was one thing with my friends growing up. I had a mosh pit of friends, and we would make fun of all each other's differences. So that helped me when I got into the Marines. Because in the Marines, man, I was with some straight country backwoods country boys, and when they tried making fun of me, I hit it right back. And they were like, "Oh, I could mess with you. You a cool beater." I was like, "Wait, what?" I don't know why all the insults going to food though. I'll turn around and be like, "Yeah, you a cool cracker too." All right, well, go with food. Watch, I'm gonna get a strike for all that. I can't even say that. I can't even joke about the insults I got personally been told myself. I can't even say that. Because you can't even make fun of yourself no more. You can't do self-deprecating humor.
Really?
Like if you let's say if I make fun of myself for being Hispanic, right? And I started making fun of myself for the stereotypes, then I'm making fun of that culture and the stereotypes. So you can't even do that.
That's crazy.
And ironically, Like I was watching a comedian who's doing that, and it's some white Karen in the audience who was like, "You can't do that. You can't say that." And he was like, "Ma'am, I'm this. What are you talking about?" No, there's a different way. You can't do that. You're a victim of your own comedy.
That's where society has gone.
It's funny.
Wow.
I just sit back and laugh at this point. I used to be mad at me. Like, what? How are they trying to cancel this? We can't have nothing good. And you see those channels. You see those channels on YouTube. People are still angry about all the stuff that's going on. And they'll be like, they're coming, they're taking away our entertainment. They're taking away the things we grew up with, our childhood, and all that stuff. But you got to move on from that. At some point, you got to move on from that. If you know a movie's, like, you can see through a trailer, you can see if they're feeding you the propaganda. If they are, don't watch it. Mm-hmm. Show them that you're not going to buy into that stuff by not giving them your money. Like a recent big movie that made like a quick $1 billion and people loved was the new Spider-Man movie, mm-hmm. right? Because it had heart, it had a story. Some of it was kind of weak at some points and it didn't really make sense and it contradicted everything that was set up before. Mm-hmm. But it still brought that fandom that people were looking for. Mm-hmm. Like, it brought back together something that people grew up with. It didn't step on it. It kept that it respected the legacy, and it just kind of brought it all together. And people fell in love with it. And people went to see it multiple times because they were treated like a customer. They were treated like a fan. And that's a lot of these properties, they forget about their fans. What happened? What are you talking about?
No, just like your passion when it comes to movies. You're like, yeah. People are treated like a fan.
Yeah, and they forget that. They forget the fandom that made the movie, you know? Star Wars did that. Star Wars, crapped all over Star Wars the last 3 movies mm-hmm. because they want the agenda, the message. And it was like, nobody cared for that. There was no hero story. There was no, homage to what came before. There was no keeping that tradition. There was, like, you crapped all over the fans. Mm. So it's like, stop watching crap, and they'll stop putting in crap. That's what I believe. There's a reason why there's a saying, go woke, go broke. It's the same for that. But to sit around and bitch about it every time, like, shame on you, Now you're just putting negative clickbait out there.
All right, Ray. Are we wrapping it? We're going to wrap it up here.
Okay. Or I'll keep on ranting. I do have to pee, though.
Same. That's why I'm like,
I can go pee.
Yo, Fuzz, thank you so much this show. Like, you interact every show, but I feel like this show, you were kind of like...
he was on point.
Yeah, he was just right there with us.
Yeah, he was like, the Great Reset is this,
yeah.
this.
He was going in. It was just popping up. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Couch Show.
We're not on the couch, though.
We're not.
We gotta come up with a new topic, a new title.
No, I like our title. Like, it is what it is. Whatever. This is a show about everything and about nothing at all, so...
Like Seinfeld. Buzz, thank you so much. Like you said, you're motivating us to keep going just by your interaction. And you're a true soldier. We're going to make sure we take care of you along the way because we love you and we want to make sure that you achieve what you're doubting. Because I know you got it. You got it inside you, but you're still doubting it. So hold us accountable. We'll hold you accountable. Yeah. But anyways, have a great weekend. I hope you got something out of our rants and rambling. Be it if it's just there's a way to just let it all out, all the tension. Yeah. But we love you guys.
Just an acknowledgement to yourself that, like, hey, your way of thinking, it's right. You're on the right path. You're not crazy. Right. Your way of thinking is just that. It's your way of thinking, and that's a beautiful thing because we're all.
And think about it. There was an outsider elected. an outsider was elected, they might have ousted them out, but it happened and it could have happened again. So there are ways that the system is going to get shocked by like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
You know, the matrix will get shocked and there will be a Neo and there will be a change. There's always an opportunity for change. It starts with us. So, all right. So like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel.